Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to HCast episode 1. This is just the normal stream we've been doing, but it actually has a name now. So we'll just call it the HCast. We've got my esteemed co-host, Paulie from the Latino Slant. How you doing, good sir?
Happy New Year. That's me. I'm esteemed.
It is Happy New Year. Yeah, there you go. We've got Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge After Dark, and also Midnight's Edge as well. How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm here. It is the third day of the 23rd year of this century.
It is, yeah. It's an interesting way of looking at it, but yeah, you are right. We've got a pretty action-packed stream today. Lots to go over. Quite a substantial amount. But I think we'll just kick this off first, straight away, and just do a bit of an RIP to Uche. Not someone that I kind of knew him on the peripherals. I interacted with him first on Midnight's Edge, and then there's the infamous dressing gown stream debate, which now no one can ever see because it was privatized on his channel, and now obviously it's just gone to the ether, which is a shame. But yeah, I didn't really know him massively well. We sort of buried the hatchet, and we were very amicable after that stream. But it is obviously sad when sort of people pass. I mean, Tom, you obviously knew him more than I did, so I don't know if you want to say anything.
Yeah, it's just found out about it yesterday at the very end of our broadcast, so it was really tough getting through those last few minutes. He was a force of nature. Didn't always agree with everything he said, but he was a big teddy bear with a loud roar. As you learned in the conversation you had with him that night, I think he as you saw, he was somebody who was very passionate and didn't back down easily, but when he was wrong, he would generally humbly admit that. And it's sad that somebody so young and so full of life was taken from us. It's not fair. It's one of those things that really hits you hard, especially with somebody, like I said, that was just so full of life, like Uche was. And it's just, it's one of those things that still hasn't quite registered yet. Like, Paulie, I don't know how well you knew him, but yeah, he will be missed.
Yeah, rest in peace, Uche, and my condolences to his family and fans, his supporters. I mean, he was a champion of men, and when I say that, just to get to the NFL like he did, you rise above a lot of challenges. 7 years with the Jaguars. I mean, that is an accomplishment, and that is amazing. And he was, that jovial, big, larger than life on his YouTube channel. Fantastic. He kept it going. I will say this, that whenever our young men are taken away, and he's relatively young, 38.
Correct? Yeah, people are saying 38 in the chat, so yeah, really young.
It's too young, and so I would just caution all my brothers and my sisters that have health issues. Get yourself, checked. Make sure your heart's good, your blood, all that good stuff. Health and fitness. Do what you can to just keep yourself healthy for your own mental and physical and emotional well-being, as well as those of your loved ones. It's paramount, especially when we let society kind of just eat away at us, and they want you to do the contrary as far as staying sedated and not thinking for yourself. Think for yourself, guys. Stay healthy. And I just wanted to say that to as someone who lives by it. Our health is everything. It's actually that, and then death, that we can that we all have in common, is how we live, and then we're gonna die. So rest in peace, Uche. God bless.
Yeah. Sorry to start on a somber tone, but obviously it is important when people sort of in this space, I guess, as it were, pass, that we sort of, take a little moment just to be like, say some words, etc. However, and not to segue too much and sort of off onto a more upbeat tone, disrespect or anything like that, but we do have an action-packed stream. and we will be getting straight into it as well. We
Show must
have
go on. Show must
lots
go
of
on.
show must go on. We have lots of Star Wars news, some good, some bad, probably all of it bad. I mean, it's Star Wars. We will be talking about Jeremy Renner. I've been covering it. I don't know about these chaps, but we'll be talking about that together. We will be looking at Netflix, sort of their quick cancellation of $18.99 and what that means for streaming spending going forwards. And then, of course, how that ties into just generally the overall prospects of 2023 on a whole for movies, etc. So pretty big stream today. What I will say before we get started, obviously, it's called HCast episode 1. This is the stream that we've been doing for a little while now. If you're new here and you don't know what this is, I kind of organize these streams as an upgrade to me just sitting around streaming by myself. So similar topics, but on a panel format with very, very good guests. You guys seem to like them. And they obviously get all sort of cut up into clips and put on a second channel, which I'd really love it if you subscribed to. It's down below in the description box. Some of you guys can't obviously, attend the whole stream. So I spend quite a long time the next day clipping it all down and putting it on the second channel as individual topic videos. So check that out down below in the description box. And if you want to join in the conversation, then please do use the super chat function. It supports the channel, it supports the stream, and we read them out. We get you involved in the conversation as well, and it helps keep the lights on, as it were. Also, everyone else down below in the description box, to check them out as well. But I think first things first, let's cover some of this epic movie, Star Wars news, should I say, which is, I say epic, I mean, it's not really epic, let's be honest. So we've had rumored for some time all of these Star Wars shows, and one of them that they've been threatening us is is Damon Lindelof's Star Wars movie, which just sounds utterly atrocious. We sort of talked about it at the time. And now apparently it's got a apparently I can't share my bloody screen. What's going on?
You
not now.
let me know if you need me to share.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to. So
okay,
let me chuck that in the chat for you. I don't know what's going on with that. So check out the World of Real one there, and I'll try and figure
World of Real. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, they've been threatening us with many a Star Wars movie for some time. One of those movies seemingly is cancelled by now, which is Patty Jenkins and Rogue Squadron. One of the ones which looked like it wouldn't be doing anything was the Damon Lindelof movie, because it's Damon Lindelof with an activist directing it in Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who is literally an activist. That's what she's best known for. So this kind of came out of nowhere, but then this World of Real article basically says, hey, look, we can report exclusively that Damon Lindelof's Star Wars movie set in the sequel trilogy era, which is an important element, because what they're trying to do is tell you it's not sequel trilogy, just the sequels. It's the era of the sequel trilogy. So it's the same time setting period, meaning those characters are going to be in this film, right? That's moving ahead and actually begins production in April, which sounds bloody terrible. It's got a new set of leads, but again, it's Disney, so member berries come in, and Disney trilogy individuals will make an appearance. And then they also say how, look, I thoughts on this, because to me, this is, it's awful. Damon Lindelof's terrible. He's an awful, awful writer. not a good writer by any stretch. And more recently, he's not done anything of note recently. The last thing he did, I think, was The Watchmen as a writer. And aside of that, he's been doing some producing, but he's not really been doing anything. So I hand it on over to you, Tom. You like a bit of Star Wars news. I know you do. You love Star Wars. You're all about it. So yeah, Tom. Unless you he's passed away. Tom's gone.
No. As far as the Damon Lindelof stuff, I'll believe it when I see actual behind the scenes footage, or at least some pictures maybe that are not doctored in some way.
What do you mean doctored in some way?
That actually come from a reputable source.
And which we've heard for a while now. This isn't just from World of Real. Like, this is something which I mean, let's let's posit it as a thought experiment then. Damon Lindelof writing this, what do you think? Good or bad? Let me know.
Damon Lindelof couldn't write his way out of a paper bag.
Well, yeah.
The only reason I could see there could be any truth to this is Iger came back on the scene and he knows they need something, and he was the end all be all of Star Wars when he was there, because he said the buck stops with me now when he pushed KK to the back. Like, so in this sense, I believe it when I see it, but I wouldn't be surprised just because they need something going.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think personally, terrible news. Even just as a thought experiment, it's terrible.
I have no faith in it. No.
Well, the interesting element is that is this Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who is literally an activist. Known, you know, she's a feminist activist basically. So she tries to write from that sort of angle. Now she's not writing this. She's only the director, but directors obviously have a say. Sometimes they have massively with Lucasfilm anyway. Each time the directors come on board, they've been able to just sort of cross things off and kind of do what they want. I mean, I just think this is awful. But it screams of the desperation that they're in, because, you know, to get Damon Lindelof back, who, I mean, he's done nothing for ages, so long. And I'm looking at this now and I'm like, well, what was the last thing he did where he was the writer? Because he's not done that much. He wrote The Hunt, which I actually quite liked, which was that a funny satirical movie. You know, I quite enjoyed that film. I thought that was pretty decent. But aside from that, I mean, you're looking at The Watchmen, which was panned. People didn't like it.
Right.
And then The White Exploit, he did characters, but that was in 2018. And then it goes way back. The Leftovers, 2014, 2017, 2015, Tomorrowland, way back to where he was starting to fade off into obscurity. And then he just, you know, again, you're looking at like 2012's Prometheus from there, and Star Trek Into Darkness. I mean, he's a terrible writer. He's very much that whole, you know, mystery box, and transplanting that form of writing into the Star Wars universe, I think is just going to be awful.
We kind of saw how it turned out.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, well, but that's the funny thing, isn't it? So you've got all these people, J.J. Abrams, obviously mystery box. You've got Damon Lindelof, part of the J.J. Abrams sort of group. You are right. Like, that is how it turns out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Paul.
Unless you're Ryan Johnson and you're just going to burn the bridges, you know, like that's really the other two choices.
You know? Yeah, well, you could be. Yeah, could be. What do you think on this, Paul? I haven't heard from you, mate.
Well, there are rumors, and yeah, it is headed by World of Real. Star Wars is just in bad shape, right?
Massively bad shape.
Awesome. Obviously, they haven't had a decent film success, not monetary wise, you know, just you know, as a film. Probably everyone's favorite is Rogue One, from Disney. But what's weird is that the next sentence in the story, and I'm kind of agreeing with Tom. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Obviously, with Andor being a huge success,
are you feeling all right?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, with Andor being such a huge success for Disney, both critical and commercially, I'm like, what? It was
yeah, I mean,
not.
it wasn't.
No, that's what the line says. That's what's in the story.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That's like the next line. That's why I'm kind of agreeing with you, Tom, on this.
Critically, perhaps. I can't speak to that. But as far as like, there's no hiding the fact that this is one of their lowest viewed shows. Yeah.
So, if you take this with a grain of salt, as I said on another website as well, it just sounds horrible. I mean, they're toying around with the idea of bringing back the old people, not the old, like the Rey and all that stuff. Wow, man, that would be a disaster. If you're gonna have new characters, that would be kind of cool, but like have them 100 years in the future, like nobody. I don't want to know anyone from those fools. I don't want to see no blue milk. I don't want to see no. I don't want to see no freaking tauntauns on, what are the horses riding on starships? I don't want to see any of that shit. I don't even want to see. I don't even want to see the desert. Put us in a Jedi training facility in a faraway forest planet where they're just trying to relearn the Force again with all cool people and powerful and all that stuff. But the creatives here just sound awful. So I mean,
this is about how much faith I have in Damon Lindelof. As you pointed out, Watchmen, Tomorrowland, Star Trek Into Darkness, Prometheus, Lost. Need I go on? A bunch of things you've never heard of. Except for Crossing Jordan. I think a few people liked Crossing Jordan. He worked on 35 episodes of that.
Isn't it? Like it goes to show just how big a part of of kind of Hollywood he was for a while, because he was really involved in quite a lot of stuff. He was the next it guy. And then I think they soon realized, they were like, oh yeah, people really hate him actually. He's a shit writer. Like, we're not going to pay this guy anymore. No. So yeah, not good. I thought we'd cover this anyway, because this is one of these kind of prevailing things that keeps popping up every now and then. The Damon Lindelof one, and it's just interesting. But what I'm
surprised he didn't write Batman v Superman while he's at it. I mean, shit.
Well, let's be honest. I think Lindelof and his people probably slipped out the rumor here. They probably wrote some of this.
That's what I'm curious about too, Paulie, right? Like how much of this is actually... Yeah, exactly. Like how much of this is actually real and how much is this hopeful bullshit?
Yeah. No, you're completely right.
I think I'm a diehard Star Wars guy. The old stuff I get and all that stuff. We had a great unboxing where I got some old Star Wars stuff. So I'm always gonna believe, even though I don't want to drink no blue leche, that the Mandalorian is going to, be decent to really good. And that's really all I got right now. I do love Andor, but it was like the worst possible timing for that television series, and everything else is pretty forgettable.
No, you're not wrong. I think this is a great point just to go, hey guys, we've got 366 of you. Please do hit that thumbs up button. That'd be really, really good. Interact with it. Hit that thumbs up button, goes a long way. And we'll just get to some super chats real quick. We've got two things anyway. So we've got a super sticker from Al Humphreys. So thank you so much for that, my dude. Do appreciate that. And then we've got a super chat from Tom dropping in and saying Star Wars material is now a scattergun, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Lots of people are in control with no fealty. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of that, because you've got not necessarily so much people in control. You've got people vying for power almost, haven't you? I guess in some regard. Obviously Kathleen Kennedy, and then
you got Favreau doing his own thing, basically.
Favreau, and the chap that they brought in to work with Favreau, the Ahsoka Filoni, that's the one.
Baloney boy.
But
and then obviously
he's kind of he only has fealty to the only things that he's created.
Yeah, now that you've learned a new word like me. I was just going to thank Tom for teaching me a new word. I love learning new words.
Oh, come on now.
I actually looked it up. I like it.
Good.
You're very smart, Tom. You're very smart.
Yeah, you got brains.
I never pretend to be smart.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you.
No worries.
I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. Jagar drops in and says Leslie Headland's Acolyte looks good, right? Yeah.
We're hearing it's still moving forward. They've got casting going on, and I guess are they shooting now?
Well. They have actually been shooting. They've got the sets built. They've got set photos. Yeah, they were ready.
But I think it's just for a pilot.
Was it? I don't think it is. They don't do pilots. They do the whole thing.
I've heard some other stuff.
Really? Because I've heard that
it's
don't
not
do that.
It's not. I'm not. Don't just take that for a grain of salt. But I heard it's
okay.
It's kind of like this Lindelof thing. That's kind of just they want to get that pilot done so they can show that they're doing shit. You know what I mean, Tom?
Could be true, but yeah, I did hear it was kind of moving at least semi forward anyway. So, but I thought that was a result of one of the few dumb things that Chapek did anyway, which, well, one of the more dumber things he did, I should say. Right. Because that was the one thing that we all agreed with Bob on. The one thing that he did do that was smart, and that was, as I pointed out earlier, he said the buck stops with me on Star Wars. That was after the disaster that was, The Last Jedi and Solo. He said to Kathy, go do something else. Favreau, come here and help me with this. And that's really what happened in the short version of it. And then Chapek come in and goes, Kathy, what are you doing over here messing with this blood and bones, not realizing that was basically a shiny object to distract Kathy. And said, Lucasfilm is Star Wars, Willow, and Indiana Jones. Quit messing with that. And that went into turnaround. And at that point is when Kathleen Kennedy came back into the fold. And as I've said, Filoni is somebody we can't trust because he is one of her little plants, because we've already had her tell the version of the story now 3 different ways. But the only thing that seems consistent is Favreau was brought into the picture either by his own means or Bob Iger, and she insisted that Filoni be brought in to work with him. Yeah. And again, Filoni is somebody who may not necessarily be loyal to her, but he's definitely loyal to his own means, meaning Ahsoka, certain things that he created, things that George didn't even necessarily like so much. Because he was not happy about him trying to bring her back. Because as far as George was concerned, she died during Order 66.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forwards. I don't like it's one of those things that it's such a shit show. Like anything goes at this point. Like literally anything. You just, well, what's gonna happen? Who knows? Literally, who knows? And I think, going straight back to the Acolyte just briefly there. The only good thing about that is the actress who was in Logan, who played the little girl.
Oh, I can't think of her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she's obviously come into her own now. She's done quite a lot more. She's pretty decent. So that's, to me, that's the selling point. But I mean, Leslie Headland on a whole is a giant raging
hole in the head.
Nozzle, so yeah. John Apocalypse for £2 says thoughts on trailer for the WH series Pariah Nexus. Is this the Warhammer series? I haven't seen this. I have not seen this. I've not seen this advertised anywhere. No one shared it with me. I don't know what this is. Can you clarify, John Apocalypse, my dude? Because I don't know what that is, and I don't want to. Yeah, I'd like to know what that is, mate. Tom Working for $10 says Filoni and Favreau maybe their only hope.
Oh no, he yeeted himself. The show's ours.
Where did he go?
My opinion, but some element keeps fudging things up. Andor worked though. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people liked Andor. We kept it going. Don't worry.
Yeah, sorry. Do you know what I did?
We did a great job.
There's a back button on my.
I only said 2 bad words the whole time you were gone. Sure, they were the 2 words you shouldn't say on YouTube, but hey.
That's fine. But anyway, I like the wordplay with Only Hope. Was there some elements keep fudging things up? Andor worked though. I really liked Andor. I know loads of people didn't. What did you guys like? Did you like Andor or not? You didn't even watch
I still haven't got past those first 3 episodes, but I didn't hate what I saw.
Man, I liked it. I really liked it.
I mean, but again, I had to go, like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had 3 episodes to watch, if it was just 1 or 2, I probably wouldn't have been as nice to it.
Yeah.
That third episode had all the story in it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got Strong and Grand for $5 says, what Lindelof did to Watchmen was criminal. No, thank you, Kathleen. You've done enough, ma'am. Go sit down somewhere. Take him with you. I love that.
The whole
That's
lot
so
of
good.
That's
good. So good. All right. So we do have some news in the sort of Mandalorian universe. As it were. I guess it kind of counts as the Mandalorian universe. Now, this is a good source.
Mandoverse.
This is a good source. MakingStarWars.net has been on it with everything, and they've been very good with everything. So you really, realistically, looking at their track record, you don't have much of a reason to doubt them. When they say that they've got the exclusive and stuff, they are very good. Their track record is very good. Obi-Wan Kenobi, they were down on. They knew everything about that, and Mandalorian, etc. They've known about. So exclusive, Ivana Sakno is Shin in Star Wars Ahsoka. Now, I don't know anything about this stuff. Like, I've got no idea. So we're just going to take a look at the article and then there's more stuff as well. So there's like Thrawn and stuff like that, and Stormtroopers in Ahsoka. So it's all about Ahsoka, but obviously it's the Mandalorian universe that they're building out of. So who is Shin? Because obviously, like me, if you are just a casual fan, you're probably like, what the hell is that? And also, we've got 425 people here. Thank you so much for joining. This is a regular live stream. We call it the H-Cast now. Just a quick, easy title. Same time each week, Tuesday and Thursday. Please do join again and hit that thumbs up button.
However,
nice
Nate. Yeah. However, Nate, only 177 likes. That's woke math. We don't do woke math here. 425 people in the chat. You got to do 2 things right now. Smash the like and make sure you're subscribed to both our channels. This one and the archives channel. Do it right now, please. Thank you.
Love it. So who is Shin? Like, I've got no idea who this is, right? So let's look at the article, because if, like me, you'll go, well, who is this? If you've been following the recent stories that Making Star Wars has dropped on Thrawn, Lars Mikkelsen, you've read a ton of implication that Thrawn has some kind of undead or rebuilt army under his command on the Chimera. Yes, the Chimera. So that's Thrawn's command ship. He's going to be in Star Wars Ahsoka, and apparently he's going to have an undead army. Interesting. In Ahsoka. Making Star Wars.net's recently broken stories about Balon, the second in command, played by Ray Stevenson. But who is Balon, and who is this assassin of his? So just yesterday, Bespin Bulletin dropped a confirmation that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing Hera in Star Wars Ahsoka. They believe that they are correct, as always. And with that punch to the face, let me give you a kick in the shin. So Ivana Sakno is Shin. Several sources have confirmed to MakingStarWars.net that Ivana Sakno is playing a new character named Shin. Shin is an apprentice of Balon, a Force user who has embraced the dark side, probably in allegiance with the Night Sisters. So she's cold, calculated, and desperate to prove herself to her Jedi Master. What Jedi Master? But also, like, it's a Force user that's embraced the dark side, but is going to prove herself to a Jedi Master. This sounds very complicated. As an average Star Wars fan, that sounds very complicated to me. But all right, who are they? Sources have implied a story in which a survivor of Order 66, a Jedi named Balon, fled to his unknown region of the galaxy for safety. Sources think Balon wanted to maintain the Jedi way, but was corrupted over time, maybe from the influence of life with the Night Sisters. Shin herself may be a former Night Sister. Sometime around Return of the Jedi, before the series takes place, Balon takes Shin on as his apprentice, and somehow Balon and Thrawn become allied, and Shin is tasked to hunt and kill Ahsoka Tano. So this is interesting because they're having to bring external people into the universe, I guess, now to build out this Ahsoka story to make it worthwhile. So, of course, Ahsoka actually grew up fighting off characters like Ventress, so it is doubtful Shin will challenge Ahsoka too much, and this will bring Balon out into a larger conflict with Tana herself. So the subtleties of the backstory may differ when we get to the final version of Star Wars Ahsoka, and all the supplementary material in publishing begins. This, however, is my understanding of the simple backstory that seems to have been used during production to inform the script and motivations. These characters are a mystery to Ahsoka at first, and she will learn about them as the episodes unfold. So a bit of a mystery thing, I guess. I just do not know to what extent and how much exposition will inform us about them on screen. What do you think? Because that sounds bloody terrible to me.
Well, first of all, I'm disappointed that this is not about Godzilla, because I wasn't paying that much attention, and when I saw Shin, I'm like, ooh, Godzilla. No, it's Star Wars. I don't care.
Yeah, like, but come on. You have an opinion on it. Like
honestly, you want my honest opinion? Like, yeah, it sounds fucking convoluted as fuck. I'm not an EU person. I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not an EU person, so I don't know all these side characters to get all excited about them or get pissed off if they sound like they're doing something wrong. So both ways, I really can't comment on that. But yeah, this is just, we're getting so far from things that I give a shit about now that if they were actually making good Star Wars, maybe I'd be excited to see what they got next. But that's where I'm at. I'm just kind of like, I really don't give a shit. Like, I probably really would have finished and been more excited for Andor had the other stuff been good. And then, I even said after those 3 episodes, I was like, we'd be, going on about how this is, something fresh and different and a different perspective and a different way of telling stories in the Star Wars universe. Unfortunately, we're sitting here saying, well, this is the best of what we had so far, aside from The Mandalorian. And that ain't saying much, because The Mandalorian, looking back on it, feels like, we're kind of like just abused lovers that are finally accepting the fact that our lover didn't beat us today. He only shoved us around a little bit. Like, that's a good day, evidently. And I hate to, equate, physical violence or domestic violence with something like Star Wars, because they're not the same thing. But I have equated the whole thing with a relationship before. And that's kind of where I am with Star Wars. Like, after The Last Jedi, I'm like, that's it. We're done. Right? There's no going back. Sure, we may see each other at the mall or in the grocery store once in a while, but that doesn't mean we have to fucking say hi.
Yeah, true.
But no, so I'm sorry for going on that long diatribe. I listened to everything you said, and you lost me somewhere around Kylo Ren.
I didn't even mention Kylo Ren, but that's understandable.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no,
or whatever. When I found out it wasn't about Godzilla, I'll be honest, the first sentence.
It was Balon that you heard, not
Balon.
Kylo.
That's what I meant. Yeah, whatever.
I think, just to throw in my 2 cents here, and it mirrors yours, to be fair, is that there's a lot of stuff that they're having to do, and a lot of it's member berries. The problem I have with these Star Wars shows and the movies as well is the member berries. It's very ham-fisted. Member berries work. Actually, member berries can be very, very good in a show, in a movie, in whatever. But it's when it's not ham-fisted, it's when it's organically, it's authentically, and it it legitimizes itself within the show. But a lot of this stuff, like, to even have a show about Ahsoka, they're having to pull loads of people in from fucking everywhere and be like, well, this is a Jedi, but actually he's not a Jedi, he's corrupted, so maybe he's a Jedi. But then also there's this dark side user, and it just gives me a headache. Like, it's a lot of nonsense. And I will say this, I really don't like how Ahsoka is everywhere.
Well, that's where I was talking about the Filoni-ness of it, right? Like, he's obsessed with her.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got a blow-up doll of her that he fucks.
I'm not surprised if he does.
I honestly, I know a bit crass there, but I hands down believe he has some bizarre infatuation with this individual that he made, which is pretty clear as day. I mean, Paulie, what do you think? I mean, you're probably as similar to my outlook on a lot of this stuff with Star Wars.
Yes and no. Here's the final frontier, and they've been starting to do this.
Star Trek. Star Trek reference talking about Star
Yeah,
Wars. I
you
like
know,
it.
come on.
Oh,
Which is
saucy.
the EU, and one of the most beloved characters is Thrawn, and it has been for
Yeah.
decades. And Filoni made Thrawn look like an idiot in Rebels.
Yeah.
If anyone's read the books and then seen Rebels, it's like that is not Thrawn. So this is even
Yeah.
before the current regime. So that's scary too. You know, and talking to a couple of people in the chat that I know that are EU fans, big time. Soul Assassin, he's not excited at all, and it's bad cherry picking. That's what's going on. So you're gonna have a couple of cool little member berries at the best on decent shows, probably on mediocre shows like Book of Boba Fett. And I liked Book of Boba Fett. I'm gonna say it right now. I don't want to get into it right now because we're gonna, I don't want to fight.
No one's gonna fight you. Right?
But what I can say, guys, is there was very few memorable highlights from Book of Boba Fett, and one of them was we got to see Cad Bane, and that was a great look. It was, a lot of people liked it, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thrawn in the books was just. I'm not looking forward to this. I like Dawson's Ahsoka. The thing with Thrawn, we really need those Heir of the Empire books to be told in films. But the thing is, I don't want Disney to tell them. So this is not a good situation. So for EU fans, I know. Of course, he wasn't the same. Thrawn is not the same as in the EU version. In Rebels, he was an idiot, and OG Star Wars is great. She's got a great channel, but
that's the thing is I think they're kind of in a no-win scenario now, Paulie, are they not?
It's a no-win scenario. I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you're an EU fan, unless you accept whatever they're giving you, at least whether it's a watered-down version, an alternate version, what have you, then it's still never going to be enough. There's nothing they can do now to fix that. They've tossed it out the window. And that's kind of where, I've come to, I don't want to say butting heads, but it has come to terms like, well, I don't know what you guys want to do. I mean, you can either enjoy what is good or you can just reject it all because you're an EU fanatic and that's what you are. And I'm not trying to put anybody down who is, but I'm just saying you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't blame others if they're going to like something that may not necessarily line up with the canon, because like it or leave it, life moves on without the EU one way or the other, whether it's going to cherry pick from it or not at this point. You either just have to accept it and get past it or whatever. I mean, it's not healthy for anybody for people to be hung up on this for so long, because it ain't coming back. And there's not going to be some cataclysmic thing to change that anytime soon. Not that I know of. Yeah. Regardless of what anybody said about, the veil of the Force and stuff like that. Favreau has said things to let me believe that they cannot retcon things. Like, it's not even a choice.
Don't reference Doomcock.
Well, I'm just saying. It's not just Doomcock who has said that, though. Plenty of others.
I'm going to push back because the one solace that EU fans have is that they haven't meddled with a lot of their beloved. I'm trying to ignore that beloved characters, but that's just not the case anymore. I mean, why shouldn't they hold on? That's not right.
No, I think there's I like so we copped flack for our 2023 video and saying, oh, we're looking forward to these things. And this is the problem, is that when people get to there's a difference between being a realist and naive and an over level of cynicism and realism. There are genuinely some things to look forward to, and I think as a fan you do hold out hope more so than sometimes past the point of realism, and sometimes it does verge on naivety. But I think it is good to hold out hope, because otherwise you just become a cynical old bastard. And I think you should have hope that some things are going to be all right, like at a certain point. Because some of the Star Wars stuff is pretty good. I liked Andor, and I don't care if anyone doesn't like it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent. Did everything I wanted it to do. It was great.
I mean,
you know,
that's
and
yeah.
you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, Mandalorian's a highlight. You know, I remember being on Midnight's Edge, and it was me and Andre saying how much we liked it at the start against, you know, pretty much everyone else. You know, and we were like, yeah, this is great. This is bloody brilliant. There are some good things, you know, like holding out. You know, some hope doesn't automatically fall into naivety. And I think there's a fine line between being, you know, a realist and cynical. So
Before we move away too much from, you know, Book of Boba Fett and all this stuff, you do have in the private chat.
Yes, I saw that Mexican Iron Man member for 1 month. Thank you very much, good sir. We were actually just saying before the stream started that we should get you on as a guest on the panel as well sometime. But member for 1 month, supporter level 1, Book of Boba Fett. Well, Book of Bob's Fett was what you said, which is hilarious. Sucks. And Robert Rodriguez did more to kill Star Wars than to save it. P.S. Godfather 3 is awesome. Yeah.
Go Mikey.
And
he's just trying to get a rise out of Paulie there.
I just want to make a note. I brought that up right now. Okay.
Yeah, true.
There you go, Tom and Mike.
And we got Olaf Van S, member for 2 months, member level 0.5. So again, thank you so much. And just some super chats real quick as well. So we've got Nikki says they're going to castrate Thrawn, one of the greatest characters from the EU. Funny how the EU doesn't exist to them until Filoni runs out of ideas. Yeah, you are right. And someone to chime in on that as well.
Yeah.
We've got Nick from
Star Wars guys.
Oh yeah, there he is.
So what do you? So funny thing is, we actually talked to Timothy Zahn up in Nashville at our big meetup, and he seemed pretty confident that if Filoni was writing Thrawn, that he would be done right.
Oh.
That was his thoughts on it. He was not a fan and hasn't been a fan of a lot of what Disney Star Wars has done. I don't know if he's come out and said anything like that publicly, but when we were asking,
I was going to say there's not much of that I'm sure he'd want out publicly, but yeah. Because let's just say when he talked to us, there was certain questions we weren't allowed to ask him. So
yeah. But we weren't recording or anything. We were just having a conversation with him.
No, I get you. And he said, there's things I'll tell you guys off the record, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Thrawn is definitely one of my, if not my favorite EU character. Are they going to do him justice? I hope so. But with Disney's track record, I'm not holding my breath.
Yep.
But I hope they do him justice.
Do. Whenever anyone says
you said doo-doo.
You gotta do. Yeah, you said doo-doo, Nick.
Oh. I'm sitting here trying to finish up a couple work things and talk at the
same time. So we got another $5 from Nicky. Nicky says Filoni has the biggest Ahsoka fetish. That's his chosen one. Putting her in every piece of Star Wars canon triggers me. Yeah, it does annoy me.
Not wrong.
It does annoy me. It's very odd. And it's also very off-putting because it feels ham-fisted. It doesn't feel authentic. And this is what I mean by, member berries need to be authentic. And just having her turn up in absolutely everything is fucking annoying. It's really annoying.
I will acknowledge that she does have her fans. I have just never been a fan, but I've also not had maximum exposure to her either. I went to the theater and saw that Clone Wars movie that they introduced her in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And by a third of the way into it or so, I'm just like, why am I here? And I looked at the other guy in the theater, and him and I both knew that we had made a mistake. That's how packed it was.
Have you seen the Tales of the Jedi?
Animated? No, I avoid shit, man, as much as possible when it comes to Star Wars.
Me. Are you going to talk about a baby?
Baby Ahsoka.
Fuck
just
off.
like, oh,
it was the least interesting stuff about Tales of the Jedi. The most interesting was Count Dooku and his.
Oh yeah, I love that episode.
because it was the whole thing, wasn't it? It was what he was trying to achieve, and how he realized that he couldn't because his hands were tied. And then the ultimate turn because of what he was, again, trying to achieve and how he was manipulated. That was really, really compelling storytelling.
Yeah, I liked
outside
it.
of superpowered baby Ahsoka. That was boring as hell.
Yeah, there was like 3, maybe 4 episodes that I didn't really care for, but the other ones I thought were really well done. And I was actually very surprised that I actually enjoyed them.
Yeah, I really liked it. Tales of the Jedi was very good. Very good. So we do have some more news, which is, like, again, you might know more about this than I do. Well, you will, anyway. So Thrawn's Kintsugi stormtroopers in Star Wars Ahsoka. What on earth is that? Do you know what they are?
I've never heard of that, but I'm not big into the EU either.
All right. Well, okay. Well, being someone that's not big on the EU, but obviously big on Star Wars, you pay attention to this and see what you think, right? Because I want your opinion first. So the Star Wars, so this is MakingStarWars.net, who have a very good track record. There's no reason to doubt them. They're normally on point. So Star Wars sequel trilogy will have an aesthetic influence on the next wave of Dave Filoni's Star Wars projects. The sequel trilogy style. So last year, there was an article about how the production of Star Wars The Mandalorian would incorporate a form of the Praetorian Guards from Star Wars The Last Jedi into the series. While that production had designs inspired by Episode 9, 9, Star Wars Ahsoka will have designs inspired by what? 6, 7, 8? Oh, Episode 8 and then Episode 9, sorry, The Rise of Skywalker. And so then in Episode 9, Kylo Ren visits an ape named Albrecht, who is a blacksmith for the Sith. He monkeys around with their armor and fixes it up. Kylo Ren needs his mask repaired after Snoke made him discard it. In lore, the mask is repaired using Saracen iron. Fucking whatever. The red iron is used to weld the cracks of his armor together, giving it the red veiny aesthetic. Star Wars Ahsoka will riff on this aesthetic. Most of the stormtroopers will have been destroyed, their armor obliterated, much like Kylo's helmet. However, instead of the red veins running through the rebuilt armor, the stormtroopers have what has been described as golden cracks or yellow veins running through their exterior. It'll look like they've been pissed on.
You said golden cracks.
God.
It'll literally look like they've been urinated on. The visual used in Episode 9 is based on kintsugi, a Japanese art which translates to golden joinery. Broken valuables use gold or silver to mend and join the broken pieces of antique or art, and the process sees the breaks as part of the history of the object. So again, this is these weird stormtroopers in Ahsoka that Thrawn has, basically. So these troopers were reforged by the Night Sisters. In the Clone Wars, the Night Sisters were Dathomir. Of Dathomir had a green magic, but these are different Night Sisters from a new place. Perhaps their magic is golden instead of green. Fuck off. What happened to these troopers that had their armor cracked like glass and then in an awesome show of power put back together like Humpty Dumpty? Did the soldiers under those sets of armor die? Did the Night Sisters resurrect the stormtroopers with rebuilt armor? We've seen Night Sisters resurrect an undead army to fight Count Dooku and General Grievous's forces. So what are these stormtroopers? The stormtroopers will be on the hunt serving Thrawn under the command of Balon, but led into battle by the red-sabered user named Shin, who is Balon's Sith apprentice, but he's a Jedi. Whatever. They'll be tracking the reunited Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka. I mean, I think this sounds terrible.
Yeah.
What do you think? You're a big Star Wars fan. What do you think?
So this is the first I'm hearing about this. I'm still not even 100% from getting over being sick. It's literally been like 2 weeks now. So I have not been on the up and up on the latest happenings of what's been going on. But just from listening to what you read, it just doesn't make any sense. It sounds like a way for them to alter and change something that already exists to be able to make new merchandise and sell new toys.
It does, doesn't it? It's literally, we'll give them piss stains on their armor. Kids buy that. They'll love that.
And the thing is, it's not like that armor really protects them from shit.
No, they die instantly all the time. They get shot dead.
So putting the armor back together, like, how about just giving them all brand new armor? Why would you put the regular stormtrooper armor back together? With Thrawn being the tactician he is, you would think he'd be like, look, the stormtrooper armor is shit. All of it got broken. However, for whatever reason, I'm gonna design a new stormtrooper armor that's gonna be able to withstand laser blasts better, or something. This just sounds completely dumb, and it just sounds like another gimmicky toy sale merchandise play on Disney's part.
Yeah, doesn't it? Just literally. I mean, anyone else want to chime in on that? Probably about the same kind of stuff, to be honest, isn't it?
No, I agree with him.
Like, I understand that part of the big appeal of Star Wars has always been the toys. But when it is so blatant that is just what they're trying to do, it does become a bit offensive.
Well, it's even worse than the prequels, right? Like, because even then, it was pretty obvious. You get to a point where George has got characters that are only on screen for 10 seconds, if that, and they've got figures, right? Star Wars has always, and and it's never been a secret that Star Wars makes more money off the merchandising.
Yeah.
So,
or it did.
Operative word being did.
Yeah. The merchandising for Star Wars is not very good right now. And the other thing is that I always thought that was dumb too, with Kylo repairing his helmet. Like, the helmet was made at some point in time. Just make a new one.
I thought they would be cool, and like, since he had Vader's mask, why didn't he like repurpose Vader's mask somehow, build it into a new mask between the two of them or something? Yeah, like a whole new kind of thing. Yeah,
that would have been way more badass if he would have done a redesign and been like, this is inspired after my grandfather. This mask is broken. I'm now in charge here. So and then have it be some sort of Darth Vader type or similar looking mask or something, because when he just it looked like cheap super glued pieces together, like in the cartoons when somebody knocks over a lamp, at someone's house and they're trying to glue it back together and it just looks like shit, and they're like, they won't notice. It's like, why would he do that? I always thought that was dumb.
Well, it kind of ruins, like, first of all, this just shows you how, like, JJ and others involved with this stuff, Ryan Johnson and all these guys, they don't even understand pure symbolism and how to tell stories right, to be honest with you. Because, like, right there is a good place where they're trying to say, oh yeah, he broke it, well then he just put it back together. What symbolism is that there? That he's cracked, that he's damaged? Yeah, we already knew that. So go farther than that. Say more than that. Like I just said, so like you have a moment where he smashes his mask and then he picks up what's left of Darth Vader's mask. And like you said, he just looks at it and, you can tell he just has that moment on his head. The next time we see him is a completely redesigned mask that, like I said, is something that may be cobbled together between his old mask and Vader's mask, or like you said, a complete redesign that's inspired by. But that's your moment of saying, okay, he is remerging now as a new character, almost like a new person. Like that's kind of what the scene should have been a symbolism for, but it 100%. Kind of falls to the wayside. But
so bad, so bad.
Well, and that's also reflected in the scene where we actually are introduced to him. Sorry, Nate, but like I say, watch that scene compared to the first time we see Darth Vader. When Darth Vader comes in, you don't even need the music, right? Like you can just pull out the music, even though John Williams' score is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. You don't even need it. Darth Vader walks in. George has the camera position where you're looking straight up at him. The smoke billows. He comes through the smoke and he just stands there. And that's all you need. When you watch the scene where Kylo comes into the scene, it's shot flat. It looks like it's shot on a stage. If you remove the music, it is horrible. Yeah. It is the most it's just him walking for like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, there was nothing really imposing about it. Darth Vader, they hit absolute gold with that. The outfit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry for going on a rant there, but that's kind of just this idea of how these guys don't even understand typical filmmaking, right?
No, well, no, they don't. It's all member berries. I mean, the whole thing was member berries, but again, ham-fisted, not authentic. Didn't legitimize itself. We'll shuffle on. We've got a super chat here, and then we'll move on to the next topic. So, Mr. L for $9.99 says, right now, it's just amazing seeing these studios make financially, creatively goofy decisions and being surprised that they backfired. Hollywood, have we ever told you the definition of insanity? Yeah, I mean, currently they are there already, but the problem with that, and we'll cover this later down the line on this stream. I mean, a lot of this is like, they are backed by massive hedge funds at the moment, trying to. I don't want to get too pie in the sky, but they are backed with massive hedge funds who are trying to shape, a cultural change, and they're doing that by incentivizing companies, forcing them to do certain things, basically. And so they don't mind if they're going to lose some money to a certain degree, because they are still backed by these huge hedge funds, which are the ones which own predominant shares in the companies. So if they're happy, they don't have an incentive to stop. Yeah. And obviously one of them is BlackRock, but there's others as well, and that's just a fact. You just follow the money, and you can see what they sort of push for and stuff, and that is just what it is as well. And yeah, you are right. Hedge funds do want to make money and not educate. Sure, some of these hedge funds are past the point where BlackRock, for instance, they have all the money, they own everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of money going down the drain here because they're making loads of money elsewhere, it doesn't make a difference to them. You only have to see it. The writing's on the wall with a lot of this stuff. We know it. You guys know it. It's there, but nothing is changing. And then you follow the money, and you go, well, that's probably why.
And a lot of them are backed by a lot of people in the political world, trying to create a cultural change.
Yeah, it's society. It's not an authentic shift. It is a pushed cultural change, which is a shame. But anyway, we are going to be now talking about Jeremy Renner. I've been covering this, and I think it's important just to cover it again here for everyone that doesn't know. So I appreciate them on TMZ, but they had some pretty extensive updates on this, more so than anyone else. They even had footage of Jeremy Renner being airlifted. So a lot of this has come out now. Basically, Jeremy Renner had blunt force trauma. He's come out of surgery. He was plowing his own driveway and his neighbor's driveway because he was up in Reno. They had a massive snowstorm, and he was just trying to get his family out so they could go out and leave their house. And something happened to this snowcat. This snowcat, all the safety features switched off for whatever reason. I don't know. The police are treating it like a crime scene. They've impounded the vehicle because they've impounded it because there's obviously very real concerns about this thing.
I think that was sabotage or something.
I don't think they're not treating it a crime scene in that regard. They treat it in a crime scene because obviously the vehicle shouldn't have done that, but it's not a sabotaging element. Who's going to sabotage it? No one. But it's more the fact that there's something going wrong with the machine. Basically, it was ran over by this fucking snow.
Okay, well, here's
what this thing is. Oh my god.
Yeah, here's my question though. Do you guys remember what happened to Anton Yelchin?
Oh yeah, that was
where he sadly.
So tragic.
I believe what happened was he forgot to put his SUV into park, or didn't put it all the way into park,
Yeah.
And when he went down to open his gate, it had rolled back and pinned him between the gate and the SUV. And I was wondering if it was something similar like that, like he had gotten out and didn't realize he didn't have it all the way in park or something, and it just kept rolling. So you're like, I don't know. And now we're hearing, here's the other thing is, first we only heard it was one leg, then we heard 2 legs and chest trauma. So I'm not sure what to believe now or what happened exactly, but yeah, like if those are treads roll over your legs, man, damn.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's heavy.
Yeah, that's like some Alaska.
Oh my God, 6, that's too soon. She says Thanos sabotage.
I was gonna say Brie Larson. I don't know if you saw their interviews together. She might have sabotaged it.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. I mean, this is just this is one of Snowcats. There is an actual image of Jeremy Renner in his one, and it looks a bit bigger than that. In fairness,
the one he has is bigger, and the cab's more in the front end and has a bigger tail end to it.
Yeah.
Plus the scooper.
Yeah, so we've got it here. It's literally just here.
Or the blade. Sorry, it's probably called the blade. I call it a scoot. I didn't mean to.
I mean, that's bloody awful.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Those treads on that are totally different than the one you just showed us too. Those are like
it's this one.
Ultra wide.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. So basically, genuinely tragic.
It is. Hopefully, yeah, he pulls through all this. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he only survived, and it is only survived because a neighbor of his is a doctor and came over and did a tourniquet on the leg to stop him from bleeding out. Because I mean, make no mistake, that would have. He's probably not going to. Well, I'd be very surprised if he's got a leg after this because he's had orthopedic surgery.
Yeah,
I mean that's very heavy. That would have mangled the bone up a substantial amount. I mean, it's dependent on the amount of damage that's happened to the bone, but that's very, very heavy. It's not a small thing. I mean, I shattered the metacarpals in my hand, and it wasn't from anything nearly. That was from a fight. That was from my hand impacting a wall several times and it breaking persistently over time upon impact. And that's not. I'm not. I can't exhibit as much force as a snowcat could on a leg, and that had to be pieced together with metal wires through the bone. The weight of that alone, I can't see there being a way that his leg's not completely gone. And I'm not trying to glorify this. I genuinely am.
No, but I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, we don't know what's going on yet. We know that he was in emergency surgery, so I'm assuming they're trying to save its leg.
Well,
we can only assume at this point, right? So
yeah. So the latest was, so there was a statement from the family, which is really nice because the output there has been some dodginess around this as well. You've seen people trying to take like cheap pop shots at him.
The typical SJW bullshit, yeah.
Fucking just outrageous. Yeah. But anyway,
because they can't respect anything, never, ever.
No, well, life isn't sacred to these people. They just don't care. But so anyway, there has been so much outpouring, and that's been really nice because obviously his family's seen that and gone, wow, thank you so much. Like people have literally, their families come out and made a statement saying, thank you so much. Huge gratitude. Thank you so much. Great, cool. And tremendously overwhelmed and appreciative of the outpouring of love and support from his fans. So that's really nice. But yeah, so essentially the actor suffered blunt chest trauma and orthopedic injuries. So that's the leg. And I would imagine because of the size of it, like, because we don't know obviously where he was impacted to go under it, but you'd imagine he probably got out the cab and walked in front or tried to cross it. And then that's when obviously the safety features disengaged because there's no way it would have. Obviously, until we know more information, it's just guessing. But due to the size of the vehicle and the element of him not being completely crushed, the leg being it and then a bit of the chest, he either managed to cross it to the front and obviously the leg got caught and he went under it from the middle. And that's how his sort of chest got impacted. Or I literally have no idea. But the orthopedic surgery is the leg, which is gnarly as hell. And then we say this, contrary to other reports, a source close to Jeremy Renner tells us he was ploughing both his own and his neighbour's driveway when the accident happened. We're told he was with his nephew. I mean, that's awful for his nephew to see as
Ouch.
well. Yeah. Jesus.
Well, and here's the other thing is, I've seen some other people, there's the one thing about the insensitiveness. There's the other thing with the SJWs. Then you have some people who aren't trying to be insensitive, but they mean, well, they're talking about, well, what does this mean for like Hawkeye season 2 and stuff? It's like, you guys got to realize
at this point,
this is like a career ending situation for this guy. He is going to be in and out of surgeries probably for the next few years. And that's even if he gets lucky enough to keep his leg, like Nate was just saying. Either way, he's going to be dealing with a lot of like physical therapy. This guy's life's never going to be the same after this. He'll probably not act again anytime soon. So we need to kind of get that kind of stuff and quit worrying about that kind of stuff right now. It's just, that's, Yeah, I understand people aren't meaning to be insensitive by that. I get it.
No.
It's just fans being fans, but sometimes nerds don't think first about those kind of things.
No, I mean, the real take home here is that, I mean, this guy's just literally lucky to be alive. Again, according to a neighbour, the ploughing machine called a snowcat, which we've seen now extensively, accidentally ran over one of Jeremy's legs, and he was just pissing blood out, obviously, as you would do. And then another neighbour who's a doctor managed to obviously put a tourniquet on it, and then paramedics arrived and he was airlifted straight away. Which there is a video of. I don't want to.
Yeah, there's footage, but it's
this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't like glorifying this stuff.
It's not.
Don't,
you don't
don't
need
see
to
any
see
of this as glorification. This is not what I'm trying to do. It's more just to highlight the news, and obviously, if anyone, if you guys can, there's social media if you want to send your, regards to his family and stuff.
I pray for a speedy recovery for him, but then,
please do, because it's just awful. It's not cool, and he's a really good actor and a pretty stand-up dude.
Yeah, I always liked him.
Yeah, it's a shame he's not been in more stuff.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you're real familiar with Matt Kadish or not. He's been on the channel a few times and he's part of the Salty Nerd podcast. He actually worked with Jeremy before and said he was a pretty good dude. So, yeah.
I can believe it. I mean, you have to watch him in interviews to know, like, he seems a pretty normal dude, to be honest. That just somehow, and he's a good actor. Like, you remove him from the Marvel shit into the other stuff he's done.
You forget what a
Wind River is great.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Wind River, The Town, Hurt Locker. You forget what a caliber actor he has been, and that's great that there were people there that could have that obviously saved his life, because you don't want to imagine that scenario where he was completely alone, because he would not be here with us. And for me, it just reminds me of those freak accidents of our our beloved celebrities that we like that didn't make it, in different scenarios, and it's real tragic, man. It could have been
a lot worse, but we have to still be hopeful for him, and
I mean, he's entertained us, and that's he's done his job as an actor, and in some of those movies and in the Marvel stuff. I just didn't, but yeah, that is, and you I'm not familiar like with that terrain and that lifestyle as far as the as far as the snow and all that stuff. Tom, just shoveling a regular driveway, right? That's pretty.
As soon as I saw like some of the images and stuff coming from there, I'm like, oh, okay, I can understand now what kind of. Because like Andre said the same thing, snowplow, like what did he do? Accidentally stick his leg in it? Because like in Andre's head, he's thinking like the push snowplow. I'm like, oh no, Andre, you got to understand. There's snowplows that are like huge. Like around here, we literally have like dump trucks with shovels on the front end or the blades on the front end. That's what we have here. And you get into the mountains and stuff like that. That's where they have the stuff like he has there. And that's where my understanding is where he lives, up in the mountain area there of the area. So like, and it looked like it was pretty treacherous, because he had just posted some other pictures too recently about like one of his cars was like buried in snow and shit and all that stuff. So like so it's not like, and he was really proud of getting this snowplow too, which is sad, but so.
Yeah. Yeah, sad times, genuinely sad times. So we'll shuffle on now to another topic that I think is absolutely hilarious. Yes and no. So we got a headline like this: Disney rules the box office around the world in 2022 with 4.9 billion. But wait, Disney stock fell 42%. Literally the worst year of their stock since 1974. Since 1974, worst year for their stock. So I think it's important to take this into account. You know, we're gonna take a look at Disney on a whole.
It's like winning the race for best loser, I guess. I mean, I can't think of any other way to put it. Like,
yeah.
Because even though, here's the thing: is even though, that's what I'm saying. Because even though,
themselves, man,
they may have made 4.9 at the box office, made in parentheses, because that's how much they did at the box office. It doesn't mean how much money they actually brought home. Yeah. When you really look at it, I guarantee you, Top Gun and Paramount brought in more money.
Do you mean take home as in they back
exactly? As in back end, like as far as being profited from it,
Yeah.
And I wonder how much money wise that percentage drop in stocks equaled to. I'm guessing it's probably way over that 4.9 billion or whatever.
Yeah, they lost so much money. I mean, they're just consistently in debt at this moment. I don't know whether the figure itself was actually thrown out there. So we've got it's the same kind of blame game. You know, they're talking about the Florida bill and things like that. I don't think they actually have it. So 13%. We characterize investor sentiment around our DIS meeting as highly interested, but not yet bullish. This is for the future. We think management is reviewing every part of the strategy since Iger's resurgence. Investors think change will be at the margins versus strategic near term. Iger has the same cards to play with as Chapek did, but there could be a path to greater comfort on DTC profits and or stronger FCF. I mean, this is the thing that just reiterates what we've been saying for ages, which is about how little change Iger is going to make, because Iger gave Chapek the same things that has now been handed back to him anyway. And these kind of there's nothing good here that's going to occur with Iger being in power again. And then this kind of article, I mean, this is a puff piece. You know, this is just a puff piece to say how good we are and how, look what we did. But actually, and Deadline should know better as well, which is really annoying. So they say, no surprise here, Walt Disney is the #1 studio at the box office. That is, what do you mean no surprise? I mean, what? Again, disseminate the information a little bit more, Deadline.
Yeah, it's not like they're giving you half truths.
Well, it's not even that. Like it's so like it's obtuse. It's purposely obtuse.
Because so, like, I was just gonna say, even in that next paragraph there, they bring up that Universal's #2 at 3.9 billion. Well, again, I would argue they still probably brought home more money than Disney did at the end of the day.
Take home.
Yeah.
Because the movies that they made money on didn't cost nearly as much as the movies Disney put out. That's the other thing. Yeah. Every one of those movies that they're counting in that was an average budget of around probably 250 or more because of Avatar. Because Avatar, as we know, cost over $400 million to make. That is not even in debate anymore. You cannot dispute that at this point, because basically it's just what it is. So regardless, and they're not even going to know that money until it's all said and done. So that's just counting whatever it made last year. We're talking about the only movie that they had that you could argue was a success in 2023, if you take Avatar off the table, is Doctor Strange, because that almost hit the $1 billion mark. But then even then, when that came out, I argued that Disney probably still had more take home from their percentage of Spider-Man No Way Home than they actually made off of Doctor Strange at the end of the day. So
yeah, agree with that.
Again, it's a lot of semantics, and I wished we had one of our money boys here to help us out with this, but with the stock thing, I can't really comment on, but yeah.
Well, we can look at that anyway. Like the stock thing is just a good representation of how bad the company's actually doing, which you then get an article like this, which is obviously, released after that kind of stock performance. So this is to boost investors. Deadline is a mouthpiece. for Disney. They absolutely are. But so we can break it down a little bit, right? So that, you know, they say they got the 4 of the top 8 movies of 2022 stateside, right? So Avatar: The Way of Water, not to get too into the semantics of it, but James Cameron recently came out and clarified his statement, saying that it needs to be one of, you know, in the top 10, at least the top 10. So that is that's 1.5 billion, right? So it hasn't broken even yet. He's come out and corrected himself. Anyone saying it's been taken out of context, I'm not going to get into it. He has said that himself. So that's 1.5 billion. So that's not made money yet. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I think, has just crossed 800 million.
Yeah, and that one was 250 budget, I believe, too.
So the break-even point for that is about, you know, being generous, $700 million.
It's just barely broke even-ish, we'll say.
Yeah, so let's just say it's made $100 million. So they've made $100 million out of 2 movies there. That's not good. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I'm not sure what the budget for that was. That'd be about 200
or 250. I can't remember which, but yeah.
So that, let's just, again, being generous, round it up to about 300 odd million. So you got 400 million out of 3 movies. You know, it's not bad. It's not great either.
And then give them an extra couple million for Spider-Man. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. Well,
but that actually counts in. See, now actually, I think that would count in the last year, though. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't think did very well at all.
That's the one where I think they really lost, because that was the more expensive one. See, that's the one that was 250. I think Doctor Strange was only 200, because I know. I think Black Panther and Thor were the 250 ones.
So not good. I didn't know they did Barbarian, so that's interesting. What's Barbarian?
I think that was released through Fox, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
I know Death on the Nile was, because that was a holdover from the old Fox.
Yeah, that was very entertaining. Okay. I like Barbarian a lot.
That's not what he was asking, but yeah.
but you look at these things.
Or maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, I'm putting in my little opinion, Tom. Jesus.
Yeah, but you look at these things and you're like, well, not very good. You know, that they've not made a lot of money.
No,
Lightyear, I think, lost money.
It did.
Over 100
million.
million.
They've listed Lightyear here as well. No, this is not. It's not good. This is not good. So when you break it down, that's not good.
You didn't even count Strange World in there. How much did Strange World lose?
So that lost about 150 to 180
at least,
million dollars. Like easily from the budget that they did. I mean, that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. So again, you know, you have this article here, which is a very honest article, and it, you know, Hollywood Reporter's pretty shit with their articles most of the time anyway. Because everyone, this is now what we're on 3rd of January, right? And people are still quoting, there'll be articles quoting Avatar 2 billion break-even mark, even though, I mean, look, I'm not a big multimedia entity, but even I know, doing my internet sleuthing, that James Cameron has corrected himself, right? Right? If I know that, the Hollywood Reporter or Deadline should know that as well. Like, for God's sake. But like I say, you know, you have this article here, pretty honest article, 1974, worst, decline, worst year of stock for Disney since 1974. And then this one comes out, not that far after. This is a puff piece designed to build confidence from investors. Unequivocally, massively just designed to build confidence from investors. But it's laughable, terrible. It'll be interesting to see what happens moving forwards, I think.
And didn't it come out not too long ago, some point in time in December? Tom might be able to back this up, but with Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, all their streaming services, like they reported a loss over the whole year of 2022 at like over $4 billion.
So it's going to be more than that. And that actually takes us on to the next topic, which is streaming budgets, right? Yeah. Streaming budgets have gone ridiculously high. And this was a fantastic article. Really, really good. TV's decade-long spending splurges over. Top analyst predicts. And you know what? It's true, because everyone banked on streaming being the next big thing. They were thinking that would be the thing that would pull people away from the movies. And obviously COVID sort of expedited that process as well. And when that happened, you know, I remember saying it at the time, I was like, it's not going to happen. You can't get the money back. You can't spend that kind of money and just be banking on subscribers. It's never going to work. And obviously, lo and behold, what's happened? People have realized that they can't do that because the budgets for these things are just vastly inflated. And look at this, right? Ampere Analysis started 2023 with a prediction that worldwide spend on TV content, including sport, would increase just 2% to $243 billion. $243 billion over the coming year. So Ampere said this would be that's the slowest rate of growth in 10 years. 2%. As streamers and broadcasters rein in budgets, the 2% increase compares with growth of 6% to $238 billion. Last year, they spent $238 billion, streamers in general. Spending stood at just $128 billion in 2013. And you can see it, you can track it. They thought that streaming was going to be the next big thing. 2013's, $128 billion, that's still insane. But then they're just pushing because they think that's the next big thing, and then obviously just imploded on itself. I mean, that's just insane. Where are they getting the money?
Well, actually,
you're not going to make that back, are you?
Six just sent me something here from the Los Angeles Times, and you got to subscribe to be able to read it. So I can't really share it on the screen, but in a part of it, it said here that she sent me. Disney chief executive Bob Chapek said in a statement Tuesday that the company still expects Disney Plus to become profitable in fiscal 2024, with losses peaking in the most recent quarter. Still, he acknowledged that the inflation and feared recession could derail Disney's timeline for streaming profitability, meaning that even that is not likely. During the fiscal year, direct-to-customer business lost $4 billion.
I'm surprised it's not more.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised it's not more. It must be more. It must be more.
So apparently that $4 billion came out, number came out at the beginning of December, and apparently there was another $1.5 billion in losses reported after that, before the end of December. So if that's true, then it would be a total of $5.5 billion for the entire year of 2022.
Well, here's the other thing is this thing is saying that they brought in 4.9 in revenue, which isn't even how much they brought home, as we kept saying. They lost $4 billion. So that brings it down to 0.9. So this article is full of shit.
It's just insane. It is absolutely insane. And mate, it's shocking to me that they're spending that much money, because you're never going to make it back.
Well, and we've seen the same thing with Netflix, right?
Netflix is bombing at the moment.
Well, that's the thing. We've learned that they gave, just alone for that stupid Onion movie, Glass Onion, they gave what's his ass, Daniel Craig, $50 million a pop. $50 million.
$100 million in total.
In what world is he worth $50 million? I don't give a shit if he was Bond. Yeah. That's all he was.
Yeah. But then this is why we're then getting.
Did I say 50 billion? I meant 50 million. Sorry.
Hey, whoever his agents or management team is, good on them, because they got the better deal.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I saw that.
This is why you get Netflix doing cancellations of very, very popular stuff. 1899, hailed as a very, very good show. People really liked it. Cancelled after one season. Done.
But yet hits like Cobra Kai, they're just sitting on right now, even though that's a cheap show to produce.
But Hurwitz, what's the producer's name? Hurwitz, Tom?
Oh, he's one of them, yeah.
One of them, one of the main dudes. He's saying, hold on. I think he just...
Oh, I know they've got plans. So,
about 2 days ago, if I could finish, Tom, about 2 days ago, he tweeted that we all have to be, kind of zen like Miyagi, and there will be news. But it seems so crazy that it hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah, but again, if you're thinking the amount that they've been spending, Netflix's stock has just been tumbling time after time, falling apart. They lost. It was like the first quarter that they lost subscribers. Loads of people blamed it on Russia, but that wasn't the case. It was actually, they'd already accounted for that in their projections. This was on top of their observed projections past that as well. And so again, like you're right, they sit on the things that obviously are massively popular, again, and then cancel things that are massively popular, and then greenlight weird, just weird stuff that you're like, why greenlighting that?
Well,
So
Nate,
bizarre.
Nate and Tom is correct. They're cheap as hell, and it's been on paper, it's been on exposés. The international hit for them, the Selena TV series. The writers after the fact came out on a LA Times expose saying that they got paid dirt, and they only took the jobs because they wanted to make sure that the Selena legacy was done right. And of course, it was a huge hit for Netflix, but they paid them dirt, and then they filmed it in Mexico, which was even cheaper than cheap. Got some inside info on that, and so that's what they're good at. That's what Netflix is good at. And so, but that one had a short lifespan because it was only 2 seasons, because obviously the true life story is that Selena died. Selena was killed. Sometimes these other shows are just too expensive to do, or it's
well, they also have another method.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
And this is what we put in our Cobra Kai report, and some people misunderstood as us like saying that we had a problem with Cobra Kai. No, what we were saying is this is how Netflix works. They pick up a show, right? They will run it for 2 or 3 seasons. After that, they have no incentive to keep the show going. And why do you ask that? If it's a popular show, because it's not bringing in any new subscribers. That's why. Their whole platform is predicated on shit that brings in new people to watch, not people who resubscribe for Stranger Things or, watch Cobra Kai already. That's the thing. They've gotten 3 seasons out of Cobra Kai. At this point, there's another thing is a lot of times with these deals, and we've learned that this is the same thing, that this is not even new. This is old. The same thing goes all the way back through network television. When a certain point hits, especially if you're licensing a show through somebody, Cobra Kai in this case would be Sony, Columbia. They're licensing the show through. At that point, after certain seasons, sometimes this thing will kick in to where if they want to keep the show going, the network, or in this case Netflix, would be more responsible for the budget. To where before that, maybe Sony was paying for 60, maybe more % of the budget, and the rest of it was coming from Netflix. Now, when they're into this point, and this, like I said, always happens, and this is where, if you remember, like the guys and gals from Big Bang Theory got that big payday, that's when that shit kicks in, because that's when they renegotiate everything, and it's up to the CBS or whoever then to decide whether or not they want to keep going with this. And that's when these actors usually jump at a big payday then, because then they know it's possible. So that's possibly what's happening right now, is there's a bunch of negotiations going on behind the scenes, and Netflix, being the cheap bastards they are and running out of money, they're probably, everybody, rightfully so, in the Cobra Kai is going, we got a hit show, we want more money. And they're like, what money?
And if I could,
what money we got?
And if I could add to what Tom was saying as well, someone was saying in the chat, well, Paramount is making good stuff with Yellowstone, Tulsa King, and The Offer. Okay, me and Tom are huge fans of this creator. Here's the big difference with that. Each of those shows you just mentioned has a different audience. Even though there's a base, those have grown and attracted new audience members. The Offer is completely different from Yellowstone. Yellowstone, completely different, but kind of like Tulsa King, and then you have 1899 and now 1923. I mean, that is exactly why Paramount is paying Tyler Sheridan so much, because he keeps attracting these different audiences, Tom. That is something to keep watching, guys.
Well, and Paramount is one of the few who have kind of shifted their view on things. Now, I'm not going to turn around and say, they've gone completely unwoke. That is not true. But Brian Robbins come out and said, there's going to be some things on Paramount Plus coming up that some people are going to have a problem with. And if they don't like it, don't watch it. You know, and that was kind of the case. And then right after that is when we got Beavis and Butthead and a bunch of the shows that Paulie just mentioned as well, which is another one I think should be mentioned. And that's why I think Paramount has been doing pretty well, and they're getting up there. But Netflix and Disney are still the top.
Because Paramount has spent like $90 or $100 million on that garbage fucking Halo show, and that was a massive bomb for them. That was a huge
that was
bomb.
not a good move. But you know what they're doing that a lot of these other guys aren't? They don't have all the exclusive shit all the time. They're still putting a lot of their stuff out. That was, but my point is, like, they sold Coming to America 2 to Amazon, for instance. They've sold Beverly Hills Cop 4 and 5 to Netflix. They're still doing these kind of deals, and those kind of deals are what bring things in. That's where Brian Robbins was like, we're not going to be exclusive with all this stuff all the time anymore. Yeah, sure, there's going to be certain things you'll only be able to find on Paramount Plus, but they're not going to hold on to their entire catalog, and they're still going to produce things for other studios. Because that's what they've learned, that's the only way they can make money.
Yeah.
And how much did they lose also? I mean, it seems like they, like you said, the Halo, and then how much did they lose with Cowboy Bebop?
That was Netflix.
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix.
But they canceled that really quick. They were like, oh, shit.
But they spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah, that would have been a lot. Again, but this is it is that expenditure situation. It was people thinking this could be the next big thing, and then obviously it's just not. Like it's an unsustainable business model. You can't spend that much money, especially not now. No one's got the money to keep subscribing to 10 different bloody streaming services that there are. Because
it's gotten worse than cable already, or satellite.
Oh, it's insane! It's absolutely insane. And then there's no reprieve from it. It's just going to get worse. Like, you got now Netflix going, "Ah, shit. Well, you're not going to be able to share your passwords." You're like, what? What do you mean you're not going to be able to share your passwords? Piss off! Like, apparently you can face illegal action sharing your password with people.
And they just raised Disney Plus.
Did they? To what?
$10.99 if you weren't locked in.
Yeah.
Disney Plus technically overtook Netflix's numbers too. I don't know if you guys had heard that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
Tax write-off.
Yeah, so bad. That's
the whole thing is, there's some shadiness to it because they're counting all the Verizon subscriptions, and supposedly they're counting dead accounts too that are on hold and stuff like that. So like, it's some shady business, but Disney's still taking a victory lap over it.
Well, Netflix does the same thing too. I got that in Apple Plus with T-Mobile account. Yeah.
Let's be real here. The two big players on the block that nobody ever talks about are YouTube, because you're watching it right now, guys.
YouTube,
more people.
YouTube is better, unequivocally better than a lot of these shows.
Well, it has more users than any of these streaming services by far.
Yeah.
Which is why, audience,
great.
Everyone in there in the chat, it's so important that you are subscribed to every single one of us here.
And the other one is Amazon, because a lot of people have Amazon, but they don't use it yet.
Tom, we're plugging the channels. Shush.
Yeah, man.
So,
yes, but we'll check out these channels like the Latino Slant.
Check out the Latino
Echo
Slant.
Base Network.
I'm putting in
or
the
should
list
I do it like this?
What? You haven't...
Echo Base Network.
There you go.
What? Can you do echo, then drop the decibels so it's bass? Can you do that or not?
I can do that. Yeah, probably. Do you want more echoes or
more echoes in the word echo, and then drop it down when you say bass?
Echo.
And then you got to do a real bassy bass.
Base Network.
You got to clip that, Nick. Have that as your intro one day.
He knows I'd do it for him for free.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Right, anyway. But yeah, no, so please do hit subscribe. Obviously, if we've got like 500 people here, please do hit that thumbs up button. Let's try and get the likes up. This is obviously HCast episode 1. This is just a new name for the stream that we've been doing for a while now. Every Tuesday and Thursday, please do check it out. They're very good conversations. It's just a good time. You'll enjoy it. And check out the second channel, where you'll find all the best bits of these streams and full stream episodes, but the best bits are in clips. So if you can't watch a whole stream, we put the best bits in clips down there. So all the links are in the description box. But I think last but not least, we will check out now. I mean, it was in the headline, DC is still a joke. They are changing things up, but we can't not talk about this. Leslie Grace reveals the peak at Batgirl costume from cancelled HBO Max movie. And boy, howdy, is it purple. and very yellow. And I know it's comic accurate to a certain degree, but boy, howdy. Jesus Christ. Like, it looks bad. It looks bad. And there were so many people lamenting this over on Twitter going, oh, I hate you, James Gunn, for not letting me watch this movie. David Zaslav, you're a prick. This movie looks amazing. It's like, really? This is the hill you're going to die on?
Right.
This is the film you really want to... You don't even see anything from this film. And what you do see is poo. What are you doing? This looks terrible. Look at that. Look at Firefly. Look at this.
It looks like cheap cosplay.
What is this? Goodness me. It's not good. Look at this. It looks worse than cosplay. Like, I've seen so much better cosplay than this. So much better cosplay.
Did Anna do a Batgirl costume for her calendar?
Oh, she had bigger tits than this one. So
Yeah.
maybe. Anna knows she's got big tits. It's fine. We'd say it all the time. It's not a big deal. It's not misogynistic. I'm sure she loves it. Leslie Grace is giving us... Hey? What'd you say?
I said it's just facts.
It's just facts. She's got a big rack. What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
It's just, that's the facts. Leslie Grace is giving... She didn't want people to comment. She put them away. Leslie Grace is giving us a look at the Batgirl costume that might have been in a look back end of year video posted on Instagram. Grace, who would have starred in the titular role in the HBO Max film, which cost $90 million, has shared some behind the scenes photos and clips during filming of Batgirl, which was permanently shelved by Warner Brothers and DC Films earlier this year. It was to have bowed on HBO Max sometime in 2023. Thank you for teaching me, 2022. You were singular in many ways that will stay with me, Grace captioned the post. My gratitude and love for life is much deeper thanks to the experiences you brought me. I take your lessons with me as we part. The video features Grace in costume in what appears to be her trailer. The use of yellow in the costume. They say it's to do with Michael Keaton, but it's not. I think it's actually more like actually comic accurate. And they're referring to this like she's eating some, like, I don't know, some fast food of some. It
looks like
so
cheese
bad.
sticks.
It's so bad.
Mozzarella cheese.
It really is. Like, that is. It's not good. It's not good at all. And that's not even the half of it, right? Because there's some worse stuff. So again, there it is. Terrible in part of its glory. On the screen there. We've got this. Why have you got makeup on, but you don't have makeup on there? What's going on? What's happening? I mean, Paulie,
just testing out some different.
I've got no idea.
Cowls.
Paulie, as a Latino, people were lamenting this film for being cancelled. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm one of them. Leslie Grace is an incredible. Yeah, yes, I am. Yeah. Leslie Grace is an incredible talent. She is huge in Latin America.
What's that got to do with her outfit?
I would love if I could just, get the thought and complete it without anyone freaking coming in while I'm talking. I'm like always pretty much on the for the most part. I let you mother effers like get your actual thoughts out, and then when I start because I don't agree. What about?
Yeah, I've got to express my shock.
What about her costume? What? She got no tits.
I've got to express my shock on this, Paulie. So, so you're saying
tits. What's going on?
Well,
looks like bad cosplay.
It does look like bad cosplay. That is a legitimate.
But what I'm saying is that I finally get I'm like last in line. on this one. I finally started talking, and you biatches, you guys
Tom's last in line, mate. He hasn't even given his thoughts. Shut up. Get your thoughts out.
You're the one who started the interruptions.
I did. I was shocked. I was shook. Come on. As a Latino,
as wide as the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I'm actually trying to put my thoughts together. I don't have a script.
As a
like
Latino,
we do.
What do you think? What do you think? Is it because she's Latino? Do you right? From looking at this, here's a better way to phrase it, right? Because I appreciate what you're saying.
Phrase it, Nate. Phrase it.
No, well, I'm gonna let me get my fucking thoughts now. So
I wish I had some popcorn. What about you, Nick?
I know. As a Latino, you started off by saying she's big in Latin America, right? Sure, I understand.
I was laying out my argument.
Looking at the quality of this film, how could you possibly lament the fact that it's been cancelled? Because the quality of it looks worse than a CW show.
Okay.
Would you lament anything that CW cancels?
I have lamented on my channel and here and all that, and anyone who would listen on the fact that Leslie Grace poured her heart and soul into this movie, into her performance as a leading role. I think she's an incredible talent. I absolutely loved her in The Heights. She's very multi-talented, and I was really looking forward to this. Now you're asking me, do I think that it looked bad? It looked cheap? Yeah, it did. I'm not stupid, but I still wanted to see her and wanted to see what she brought. But if it's that terrible and it was shelved, I can't argue Zaslav. Now, it still doesn't break my corazón. That's just it. That's just it. I'm not going to change it for anybody. Huh?
Those that don't speak Latino, what? Your something?
My
something,
heart.
what?
My heart. My corazón.
Right. Okay. I don't know what that means. Come on.
Learn some damn Spanish, bro.
No. learn some Afrikaans.
It's not that hard, guys. So
I learn Spanish.
I also think Leslie has the makings of to be a great star, a great role model. I sent you a link right now. Her on the set, spending time with taking photos with a kid, which I think is a beautiful thing. That we like that in our stars. I think it's easy to judge the bad cosplay from photos that are taken, out of context, in a trailer. The lighting sucks. I mean, again, it's not like I got to wait until the film, but I can't. I'm never going to see the film.
I mean, look, I agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, there are some things which, like only a certain amount of color grading would change. And like I get it. If she's an actress that you're particularly keen on performance-wise, and you think, yeah, definitely pours her heart into it. I mean, I guess there's one saving grace here, is that she got paid, right? They all got paid at the very least. So at least there's that.
Well, there is that, and then I've followed her before, and obviously I'm still following her. And she, when she took to Instagram and her social media on it, she was devastated. She put a lot of she put like a year into this, which makes sense. And you feel, I go back to her having a lot of fans, millions of fans who felt the way she felt. You can't take that away from you can't take that away from them. The thing is that we don't run in those circles as far as Leslie Grace fans, which I get, but they exist a lot, millions of them. So and I'm one of them. It has a lot. Obviously, if it had a lot of woke problems, if it was that, no one wants to see that garbage. I'm not blind.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that. So like it wasn't that. It was just that it was genuinely bad, apparently. Like, really, again, just a bad film.
Well, I'll never know because I didn't get to see it.
So would you rather? So this is an interesting thought experiment, isn't it? You'd rather watch a shit film just to confirm that it's shit than not watch it to not know that it's shit.
It depends, right?
Because it's someone you know and follow. Yeah.
It depends, right? You know, because if you're asking me in the Latino slant, it's like I almost have to watch it for the channel. You know,
Yeah,
I think
okay.
it's smart. I think it makes sense, especially
Of
as a
course it
big
is. Yeah, I
star
mean,
as she is.
it's what you
There's
do.
there's that movie called Babylon, that happens to have a Latino lead, and because he said some shit things about past productions that he's been in and about Mexico,
Hmm.
I'm not going to go see it. We all have those lines that,
Interesting.
you know, that's it. Then there's just fatigue. I didn't see Thor: Love and Thunder. You know, there's just fatigue. But yeah, I would definitely have seen this one for sure. I'm going to see Blue Beetle.
Okay, so that's interesting, right? So yeah, okay, interesting. So you had the appeal to watch it simply because of who she is and what you do, as opposed to
Bless you.
the movie as a concept itself.
I didn't know enough. I don't know anything about the concept, other than the two filmmakers are very excited to bring their vision. I didn't know, you know, and that the casting was kind of non-traditional. You know, you still had J.K. Simmons as her dad and her, you know. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. Let's see how it rolls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting because, you know, when you start to talk about like why people are sort of disappointed by something, it's interesting to figure out why, you know, like, because there's so many people lamenting this on Twitter that they never got to see it and they're really angry with Zaslav as a result of it and blah, 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 blah. So it's an interesting thought experiment as to why people would be
That's
so
not
upset.
me
And
though,
for
right?
you,
I'm not
no,
right.
exactly. Yeah. So this is a
Right. I'm not angry
different
at
reason.
Zaslav. I understand the numbers, right?
Yeah.
And the optics suck because him and Warner Brothers or whatever, when he came in, they just cut out a lot of Latino programming and then they shelved this. That sucks.
Sorry,
But
what other, I know you don't want to interrupt, but what other Latino programming did they cut?
Gordita Chronicles, which was a very inexpensive new comedy that just debuted, critical acclaim. It literally stars no one that you would know, but it was executive produced by Zoe Saldana and Eva Longoria. Very funny.
Okay.
Very
I love
funny.
gorditas from Taco Bell.
A different type of gordita, but the same principle. She's a little fat girl in the 80s. Very funny TV show. It got the axe and then it got pulled. It was one of those shows that got pulled now from HBO Max because they don't want to pay residuals to that show anymore.
Yeah, they've done that with a lot of stuff now, haven't they? Actually,
Yeah,
cut a lot of them
so,
off. Yeah,
but you know, as a channel, I just cover this stuff. It's like what Nick does with Star Wars. I mean, it's part of it. And then what I get to do is I get to be honest with. See, that's the thing is I wanted to see Batgirl because then if I like it or not, I'll tell you guys. I'll be very honest. Just like with Namor. Like Namor is a great example. I propped up Namor and my excitement for Tenoch Huerta for almost 2 years. I saw the film. I hated it. And then you got my wrath. And that's it. That's it. You don't get a free pass. I'm not saying you get a free pass just because it's
sure?
Latino or it's Asian.
Because he's Latino, you don't just give him a quick.
No,
you're all right. You're fine.
Yeah. Anyways,
No,
I think I've said enough.
No dodgy reviews here then. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's get to this last super chat here. It says, when Tom doesn't talk, I just look at his profile pic and laugh because that's the face he's really making when someone says something he truly disagrees with.
You're not wrong. Or it's like this.
We should make a rule where everyone just has to be on camera on these streams from now on, I think.
I mean, you know, yeah.
If you want to see me doing stuff that's weird, sure.
The only reason I'm not is because I'm
what you do
working.
Usually typing and smoking and whatever. Okay. I usually just don't do it because, you know, it's just not polite to smoke on other person's stream, and I don't
know if you're allowed to do that on YouTube.
That's the other reason why I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So, yeah.
I don't know what the rules are. It's nothing.
I've heard people getting in trouble for vaping and other things too, so I don't want to take a chance on anybody.
Wow. Interesting.
I got a face for radio, so I don't think anybody wants to see this shit.
Well,
you know, there's always
somebody wants to see you, Tom.
Well, I don't see you, Nick.
Thinks she's sexy.
Well, yeah, I'm not ever on here because I'm working. It's the same time I'm sitting here doing this stream.
Touche.
Oh, Nick, that's just hear excuses from you, Nick. That's all it is, mate. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
I'll take a Tuesday or Thursday off work when I'm not working. I'll be on camera the whole time, start to finish.
Well, good. That's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. So I think we've got one more thing to chit chat about, which was just a brief little thing. wasn't anything huge. You actually sent it to me, Tom, because I hadn't seen it, and it was you that alerted it to me. But it was the new Evil Dead situation. So Evil Dead Rise.
Oh yeah, I heard about.
We got full trailer tomorrow. God, they're really pumping out Callisto Protocol. So we got full trailer tomorrow, and they did a teaser trailer today, and Bruce Campbell as well. They got a new poster, so this is the new poster, which I think is really cool. Mommy loves you to death. And obviously, you know, the mother here looking like absolute, psychosis there. A deadite, clearly. And then we had Bruce Campbell sharing this, which I don't know if I will be able to play it. Tom, can you pull this up, and then we can play the whole thing?
I can try. I'm sure. Or is this the Evil Dead thing, or?
Yeah. Yes, I've just chucked it.
I'll just get it from the YouTube, the one I shared with you before.
No, because Bruce Campbell does an intro.
This is a different one. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Different one. So the one I've linked, just click on that. We'll
gotcha.
Go to that article again.
All right.
Because it's good, man. Like it. Bruce Campbell is a producer on here. He's trying to get obviously people really excited for it, and it's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool tease. And I'm looking forward to the full trailer tomorrow.
Well, I'm usually not a fan of these teaser trailers for teaser trailers.
Yeah, a teaser trailer for the official trailer or the teaser.
But see,
I think this is done right though. I think personally because
the trailer
it's
for the
quick.
trailer.
Yeah. So...
Hey, Evil Dead fans, I have a very exciting update to share with you. I have a sneak peek of a new trailer for the next installment in the franchise, Evil Dead Rise. Even though I'm not in this film, as a producer, I'm all over this movie like a cheap suit. I guess you can say I have a hand in it. Now, I've seen the movie in all of its glory, and in case you're wondering, yes, it is amazing, and yes, it is the scariest one yet. Groovy. So please enjoy this first look, Evil Dead Rise.
You don't look so good, Mom.
I can't.
Oh.
I think it just loops.
Can we just say how awesome Bruce is at selling stuff? I mean that's a big sell.
It's like
away.
Deadpool style there. Yeah, it works.
Oh, so
considering he's not in the movie, because I'm not like so sold on it, but yeah.
I really like the look at them. All right, so what do you guys think? Because I've seen that and I've given my thoughts. Paulie, what do you think? So the intro and then the actual tease.
No, yeah, kind of like what Tom says. The intro is great with Bruce. That's an A. I think what I saw was kind of like a C+, especially with Smile that just came out. The mom looked just like the Smile lady. So I'm just like, okay.
I'm kind of confused because the logo is the same as the reboot quill or whatever the hell it was, and I thought I heard that this is not related to that one.
This is part of. This is an extension of Evil Dead proper.
Yeah. So I don't understand why they had the whole
basically.
red. Yeah. Well, I just wasn't so sure why they did the whole red background thing. That just to me reminds me of the reboot quill from, what was it, 2013 or whatever hell the year was.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like that.
So what makes it a C plus then from what you saw footage wise?
No, I just said the mom looks like the smile lady. And I even saw that in the poster, and you know, it's not a. You got the little girl with the chair going up. It's like, you know, I need to see the trailer.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment because at this point, what is the song that the mom's singing? Is that the song that the lady sings in the one girl sings in the first movie? I can't remember. It's like I remember the not another peep, or something like that, and then because I didn't hear the rest of the song there. So other than that, like, yeah, I'm not. To me, I need to see a little bit more, and then I'll judge it.
Nick,
for a teaser trailer or for a trailer, I thought it looked pretty badass.
Okay, good.
Now the fact that he's not in it is just kind of takes me back a little bit. You know, is this really going to be any good if he's not even in this film? Because I thought he made all the other films.
He's producing this.
Yeah, but he is involved, so that gives me some hope for it. I'm not like the hugest, you know, biggest, you know, Evil Dead fan, but I've enjoyed the movies. I've not hated them or anything. So I don't know. It looks like it might be interesting.
Okay, all right.
That mom looked pretty freaky though. When that little girl looked through the little eyelet in the door.
So, from my perspective, I've genuinely loved everything I've seen for this so far. And more specifically, so just about the trailer itself, you know, the sort of trailer for the trailer. I think that's how you do it, right? The intro's great, you know, having Bruce do the intro, really, really smart. It's good because it hopefully gets people on side who weren't interested or won't be interested when they realize he's not in it. So that's real smart marketing. And it's funny and it's him doing, you know, what he does best, and it just works. It does make you go, it's a shame he's not in it, obviously. But he does make it clear, you know, it's one of the scariest. And, you know, the films he were in, they weren't necessarily the scariest films, right? That's not what they were. You know, they were kind of schlocky. They were what they were, and they were good. But he makes it clear that, you know, it's the scariest film. And that's good. Like, I think that's what people want. They want, that you know, they want scary. And so the trailer itself, the little tease, I like it. It's short, it's sweet. Yeah, sure, you need to see more to give it a proper judge. But from what you do see in the teaser itself, the cinematography is very well done. So the framing's very good. The visual style, so the lenses that they're using is really good. The bokeh of the background and the sort of focal length of the lenses is really nice. And then flit obviously to what looks like almost like a fisheye type lens as they're going down the hallway. The combination works really well, and it was used, you know, widely before in horror films specifically. Kind of fell out of practice, but it's a good visual style to throw back. And then there's the other things that, you know, that we've seen about this. You know, images like this, the sort of mockery of Christ walking on water. You know, it's obviously a Deadite and stuff. This sort of juxtaposition of good versus evil. You know, you're obviously using you know, Christianity as that. I think that works well in this context. You know, like what's the ultimate evil? Well, you look at religion, anything which is sort of you know, sort of the antichrist element of that. I think it works. I think it works really well. And again, images like this is a bit of a low quality.
The one thing that has me like, because I'll be honest, I own it, but I haven't watched it yet. The reboot quill. I had planned on it here eventually watching it, especially now with this new one coming out. Because I wasn't at first all that thrilled about it, but they moved it from a streaming film to theaters, so that intrigues me. So I don't. That tells me they either have some faith in it or they're just doing it for a quick cash grab, which could be either. So I mean, you know,
I've heard good things. I had someone that worked on this.
I hope that's the case. I hope that is. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So someone I know personally worked on this, and and they had nothing but compliments to say about it, and they're pretty big on horror stuff. But I like all this framing's great. Look at this. That's good framing, man. Like that is good framing.
So these are still shots from the film.
Yeah,
but not these were not in the trailer, right?
No. This is stuff which like I've accumulated. They've just been releasing drip feed and
okay.
stuff.
Those look good.
Yeah.
Those look good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
this is what he trades naughty pics for. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen.
I don't have OnlyFans. I just trade images for images like that.
It's all access to Mr. H.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, give me access, I give you access.
Oh dear. So like I'm excited for this. I think that, again, we go back to the earlier comments about Star Wars and stuff and about being a realist, cynic, naive, etc. There's nothing here which screams it's going to be terrible. Not to me anyway. So yeah.
It looks interesting. They're bringing it to the city, it looks like.
Yeah, so it's two sisters in a city in a tower block. So a bit Raid-esque, a bit Dread-esque.
I mean, yeah, it could be, even a little bit of a callback to like things like Poltergeist 3 and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought I'd ask your opinions on that. We do have a very funny super chat to get to, Paulie. Trevor Wright for $5 says, Paulie, would you feel the same way if Batgirl was starring Brie Larson?
What? Would I what?
Would you feel the same way if Batgirl was starring Brie Larson?
No.
Why is
I'm
that?
not a fan of Brie Larson.
All right.
Give me a better, give me something better. I mean, I don't know if it means like would it? Are you saying who was that person? Thank you for the super chat.
Trevor Wright.
Trevor, are you saying that if it was a non-Latina, like maybe actor in it? No, that
I think that was the implication.
Yeah. Right. If that's the implication, no, I have all kinds of fans of I'm a fans of all kinds of actors and whatever background they are. I'm a big Leslie Grace fan.
All right. Okay. John,
I thought he was going to say lesbian fan for a second there. I was got my hopes up.
John W78 for £5 sent super sticker. Thank you so much. And I think we got one from JS Pena for $1.99. Says Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. And also John W78 has been a member for 2 months. So thank you so much. I think that's it. I know that there is there's something about the Jeremy Renner snowplow injury update being announced in a presser.
A press thing's supposed to go live here in the next few minutes, but
is that an actual live press thing? Is it?
Yeah.
From the Sheriff's News Conference live streamed.
Yeah, so I don't know if you wanted to cover that or not. Supposed to be happening in the next few minutes here. I can keep an ear on it here.
Yeah, I mean they don't. I'm looking at the. Yeah, where's it supposed to happen?
3:30 p.m. Pacific time, which should be in 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah, I mean we can watch that. Why not?
That'd be fun to watch. I mean, we have.
Do you have the?
I have the link open here.
Yeah. Check it up. So we've got it ready to go. You got the sound all ready to go on there as well. Yep. Is that there? Is it on here? Where's the?
Yeah, it says stay tuned there. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, guys. We'll be watching this live together. Make sure the sound's up as much as possible as well.
Yeah,
just because.
We'll do my best.
Be interesting. Can you zoom in as well?
Yeah, I'll make it big here.
Mate, that's what she said.
Sorry.
Kind of a weird image to just have here, but hey, I know. We deserve this.
Damn it, Beavis.
Shit, man.
Oh, dear. That's fucking gold.
Yes.
Well, anyway, guys, so
2 minutes.
We'll watch this together.
We got at least another 2 minutes or so yet. So yeah.
So I guess it's just an update on his condition, what's going on.
I'm assuming it'll be whatever they found through their investigation, whatnot, to maybe give everybody an update. Probably, yeah.
And let's thank the Great Six for getting this.
Indeed, she sent this link to me and the other one earlier as well from the LA Times or whatever.
I think 6.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. See.
All right.
Say it's a little loud on my end. Turn it down just a little bit.
Trouble.
A little bit.
A little bit until it actually gets up there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's a auto mic thing that's, kind of like what we'd have to deal with sometimes here on StreamYards. Once he starts talking, it'll be like blaring, and then it'll even out probably. See, as soon as somebody talk there. Yeah.
While we're waiting, anyone in the chat, please share this, that we're covering this, going to get our reactions, Mr. H's reactions as well. This is pretty fun. And I mean that in a respectful way.
I was gonna say, I don't know about being fun. I'm just,
Well, our interaction, our engagement. Sorry about that.
Us being able to react to it live.
With you guys. Jesus, just share this.
You're having a bad day, Paulie. It's okay.
I'm not. I'm actually having a good day. I feel good. I'm excited to be live. I haven't been live in a few weeks. Maybe I'm rusty. Maybe that's what it is.
I finally got something I've been waiting on for a long time. I'll have to show you guys after the stream ends.
Oh, test came back negative? Good for you.
Oh, that's not where I was going to go, but okay.
Hi-oh.
I don't know which one would have been worse. Oh, here he comes. I was going to...
Oh.
No. Oh, no.
That's a fake
maybe
out.
not. That was a fake out.
He's just cock teasing.
He's a
Cop teasing.
Hey. So this will be interesting, in fairness, just to see what they actually say about, what the latest is and what's the deal with the snowcat, because that's what they took. So
well, appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you very much. Here at the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, I'm Brian Samudio, Public Information Officer of the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. It's my privilege to introduce to you Darren Balaam, Washoe County Sheriff. So, for proper spelling, it's DARIN BALAAM. Sheriff Balaam.
Thank you, Brian.
Did you guys get that?
Write it down.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for being here today.
So it wasn't a
I'm
cop
Sheriff Darren
tease.
Balaam.
He just
We're
wanted
here
an
as law
intro.
enforcement this afternoon to provide some information regarding the accident involving Jeremy Renner and clarify some misinformation that is circulated. Myself and all the members of the Washoe County Sheriff's Office family and first responders send our thoughts and prayers to Mr. Renner, his family, and friends, and we share our sincere hope for a full and speedy recovery. With that said, here's what I can tell you today. On Sunday morning at 8:55 a.m., a 911 call was received for a 1050 or a crash involving a snowcat versus pedestrian. The subject had been run over by a snowcat in the area of Mount Rose Highway. At 8:57, Washoe County Dispatch advised some units and they started en route. Here's where I want to elaborate on the weather and the road conditions at that hour. The previous evening, we had seen approximately 3 feet of snow fall in the Mount Rose area, and multiple cars were abandoned on the multiple roads, including Mount Rose Highway. Additionally, while it was not snowing at the time of the accident, Mount Rose Highway was closed at that hour because of severe winter weather of snow, which had not been yet removed from the highway. At 9:30, the first Washoe County Sheriff's Office unit arrived on scene. The delay, again, was a direct result of the weather, the traffic moving around abandoned cars in the roadway, and the closure of Mount Rose Highway. When the first Washoe County Sheriff's Office unit arrived on scene, Medical, Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, and North Lake Tiles Fire Protection District were on scene. At 9:37, care flight landed in the vicinity of Mount Rose Highway. At 9:56, Mr. Renner was taken via care flight to a Reno area hospital. Now for some details of the accident as we currently know them. I want to be clear here, as well as going on a major accident investigation, and we are handling it as we would any other major accident investigation. We are still conducting interviews and processing items from the scene. Based on our investigation, Mr. Renner's personal vehicle, which was being driven by a family member, had become stuck in the snow near his home. Mr. Renner went to retrieve his piston bully, or snowcat, an extremely large piece of snow removal equipment weighing at least 14,330 pounds, in an effort to get his vehicle moving. After successfully towing his personal vehicle from its stuck location, Mr. Renner got out of his piston bully to speak to his family member. At this point, it was observed that the piston bully started to roll. In an effort to stop the rolling piston bully, Mr. Renner attempts to get back into the driver's seat of the piston bully. Based on our investigation, it's at this point that Mr. Renner is run over by the piston bully.
He slipped.
An eyewitness detailed seeing Mr. Renner getting into the piston bully and not seeing him again until the piston bully came to a rest in a pile of snow in front of his driveway. At this point in the investigation, we do not believe Mr. Renner was impaired at all, and we believe this is a tragic accident. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office is in possession of his piston bully, and we are analyzing it to rule out any potential mechanical failure of why it may have started to roll. This is part of our normal investigation process
Human error
for any major investigation. As I mentioned earlier, this investigation is ongoing. However, we do not suspect any foul play. I want to repeat that. We do not suspect any foul play. We believe this was a tragic accident. On behalf of the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, I want to thank Chief Summers from North Lake Tahoe and all of his personnel, and Chief Moore from Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, Care Flight, and all of our regional partners who assisted in responding to this accident. And with that, if there's any questions, I'll answer a few questions.
Did he lose his leg?
Can anyone drive a snowcat? Is that something you need a license for? Or
It was on a private road, so he can drive that snowcat. And in this instance, as Mr. Renner always does, those private roads, he was being a great neighbor, and he was plowing those roads for his neighbor because up there, again, they had 3 feet.
Sheriff, I just wanted to make sure I clarified on something you said. You said the snowcat started to roll. I presume that means it was rolling over.
No, it started just to move forward. You're welcome.
These guys.
For that, we're going to refer to the family. I believe they made a statement earlier today on his well-being. And again, all we want to say from all of us here,
he's not going to tell us any of the medical shit.
We are keeping him and his family and friends in our thoughts and prayers.
These guys are asking dumb fucking questions. I'm sorry.
The plow thing to see if it had a mechanical issue. Was it run? It was still running. You don't know if it was like. Does that device have a park?
Put in park.
It has a park, and
Finally.
so like we would because of this having such severe injuries, we want to make sure that with that mechanical machine, that was there any mechanical failure? Had he put in park or whatever? So that's anything we would do on any major investigation that we had. And so this is just something that we'll impound. We'll have our mechanics and our major accident investigation team go through and rule out that.
Was medical? Did anyone here up or any of the officers who responded provide any kind of medical treatment when you arrived?
You know, I would say they all did. And after Mr. Renner was run over by the piston bully, there were some neighbors that also brought out some towels to help. So, you know, I want to thank them as well for their quick response in helping Mr. Renner while all of us first responders were responding. But
a lot of towels.
First aid was rendered to him.
Was it hard for the helicopter to land given the conditions?
It was, and that's why it took him a little bit. As I know, there's a video already out there on social media. Just because of the weather, all of the snow that we had just gotten, they had to find a safe landing zone for it.
There was an early report that a neighbour who's a doctor, a medical doctor, administered gave a tourniquet. Is that correct?
What I can tell you was there was no doctor on scene. It was some good neighbors of Mr. Renner's that came out with some towels and rendered some aid.
There you go. That's different.
So there's one of the things.
That part I do not know. I just know that they came out with some towels and helped them until all of first responders could get there.
Yeah, it still might have been a doctor.
How much snow there was up there at the time?
There was about 3 feet that we had just received on top of whatever else they'd received prior to this big snowstorm, but 3 feet of fresh snow.
Did that complicate the rescue?
It did because Mount Rose was closed. And as you may have noticed during that time, we had about 13 to 20 cars that were abandoned from the bottom of Mount Rose all the way to the top. So trying to get them and get around for the fire engines, the ambulances. That's why, again, for fire, they collaborated from both sides of the Mount Rose Highway and came together to help.
I just wanted to clarify, you said he was trying to get back into the snowplow. Was he able to get back in and then was thrown out, or?
That part we don't know. We're waiting to talk to Mr. Renner.
What sort of condition was he in when you
They
guys
check
arrived?
private chat.
Was he conscious?
He was speaking to the first responders.
And I've seen it reported that he suffered chest wounds and some orthopedic injuries. Can you comment on whether or not
That part I don't know. I'd have to refer you to the family and let them answer those, or the hospital.
Do you have any details on how common an accident with a snowcat is?
No, not off the top. I would have to tell you probably there's always at least, because this type of snowcat is one you'd see at ski resorts, that there's always these type of injuries or accidents that occur, but the exact number I do not know.
So it was on his property, not on Mount Rose Highway,
It was on a private road.
on a private road, and then the neighbors that he helps dig out are all part of that private road.
They're all on a private road.
Private road, so he never has to go on to public.
They're just trying to
And
frame it.
approximately how far?
That
from the
journalist
summit,
is annoying.
Roughly, would that be?
Couple miles.
Who called 911?
That one I don't know if it was the neighbors or his family member.
I know a lot of people have talked about the impact he has had in the community, donating to things and charity drives. What has been your relationship with him?
You know, he is a honorary deputy sheriff. And so when I took office in 2019, he came, and with his popularity amongst kids and the marbles, he has a huge impact. Those kids that he touched during Shop with the Sheriff, he showed up and shopped with our kids. I can guarantee they will never forget that moment that they got. He
just
shared his
touched
time with
kids?
us there,
I
and
said that
not
was
only shopped with
badly,
the kids, but interacted with the kids. So he's had a huge impact, not only in this office in helping us with our
Badly worded.
outreach with Shop with the Sheriff, which is our biggest event, but throughout the community, he has been very generous. And he's one of those individuals that I can tell you most of the time you don't know that he's doing it, but he has made a tremendous impact on this community.
That did not
Did he
help
do
any
Shop
of the
with
things you
Sheriff
just
this
said.
year?
This year he did not.
And what's the kids' reactions when they do see him? They know
Tom,
who he
check
is?
that.
They know exactly who he is.
You,
They
you
call
want me
him
to just
Hawkeye.
bop out of this
And
then?
they
or-
are-
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from here. So that they're not really asking anything worth shit now.
Yeah, it's all not very good. But however, Tom,
What would you ask? Oh,
Well,
okay.
they already asked the most relevant question. Did they know if it was in park? Was it a mechanical error?
Yeah.
The guy can't answer that right now. In reality, there shouldn't be any fucking questions. He's told us all he can tell us. He's not going to tell us any of the medical side of things. The rest of it, I mean, what more do you really need to add? They're asking stupid questions because they ain't got no questions to ask. That's why.
Well, I also just trying to frame him as well. Like, well, is it a public road? Should he have been driving? That's how. Just shut up, mate. Come on, no one was hurt except for him.
You have to have a license to drive one of those things.
Yeah. Yes.
Private roads.
You know, the thing here is that it sounds like it was from
He
what
looks
I
fucked
heard.
up though.
He does.
Like, there's
God
two
bless him.
black guys. His whole face
Jesus.
is
Pummeled.
messed up on one side.
Well, it sounds like he literally got ran over by the goddamn thing. Not just like his legs, but like the underneath the under part. So he probably got tossed around quite a bit too.
I was going to
pretty
say,
bad.
Nate, it sounds like there was just that slight split second of just human error. Maybe he thought it was fully in park.
Regardless, he just slipped and
he was probably like, I need to go talk to my nephew, and he probably jumped out real quick. Hey man, I don't know, but that's the feeling, because it sounds like these guys have done this before.
Well, and he was trying to catch. That's the part that has me up. Like, if anything, I would just tell everybody get the fuck out of the way. Let it come to a rest somewhere. I wouldn't have, because what I could when that sheriff explained what happened, that's all I could see in my head was him jumping up in the cab trying to stop it, and basically just getting sucked into those treads.
Right.
Yeah.
Underneath that cat.
It's almost like you have to.
Oh man, it just ugh.
It's almost like you have to step on the treads to get there as well, by the looks of it, isn't it? From like
it does not look like it was a good move. I would have been just like, everybody get the fuck out of the way. If you lose the damn thing down the hill, you got insurance, man. Come on. Is it not worth that?
Correct, Tom. It's like, what did he hold? What was it? What was he trying to grab? And what was the gripping of his feet underneath? Did it slip underneath him? Because my grandfather, that's how he lost his leg. He was trying. He used to jump trains back in the day, and the ground had slipped, and it was a different terrain, but it's still the same principle, right?
I mean,
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You can finish.
No, go for it, bro. Go for
Oh,
it.
I was just gonna say, in looking at those things, to even get back in it, you got to climb on those treads.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Yeah, like it
You
looks like you
know,
have to go
so
up onto the treads to even
it's
do it.
not like just a ladder and you just jump in. You know, and
Yeah.
if that thing's rolling and those treads are moving, and he's trying to get up on them while it's moving,
Yeah.
yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I think that about wraps it up, though. I mean, to be fair, like there's not much else really to cover on this. That one's done. We're still the first of the, entry point to the year. Things are sort of slowly coming out. Yeah, there's not an awful lot else to cover, to be honest, outside of that, I think.
Yeah, and if I could just say one more thing, I think when you're lulled into that kind of comfortableness of knowing your machines, your road, your this, your that, you kind of just forget. I don't think, maybe he's done that before,
Yeah.
He probably has. He's probably been so used to his equipment, but I mean, you saw the photos, guys. Wish him well. That's scary.
Yeah, Gary for £5 says, funny enough, I was just looking at the Snowcat the day before, and you do have to stand on them. Yeah, it does look it. It does look like you have to. So, yeah, it's shame, but I mean, obviously,
step or something, but
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll sort of see what happens moving on from this. Good that he's up and about from the Instagram post, and good that
good
that they've obviously.
It's not like he's dead or anything.
Yeah.
Well, when you hear critical but stable, that's not really reassuring. I mean,
no, that's bad. He's in critical condition, but he's not getting worse. I mean, that's.
It looks like he's a little more stable today.
A lot more stable today.
Well, coming out of surgery, that's definitely.
He's on the gram,
pushing him up.
Yeah, he's on the Instagrams.
So so that about wraps it up here. I will just say, guys, please do check out the second channel linked in the description box. Mistakes Reviews Live Archives is where all the best bits of these streams go. So please do check it out there. Larry Quadowitz has just dropped in with another super chat for $10. Says Happy New Year, Mr. H, Paulie, Tom, and Nick, and Andre, even though he's not here. Much love, everyone. 23 baby. Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, thank you all for joining today. We got a really good stream, good turnout. These are every Tuesday and Thursday, so please do check them out again. Please do come here for these streams and check out the second channel as well. Paulie, what have you got going on in the next days, weeks, whatever? What you got coming up, mate?
Just recorded videos. I put 2 up today. One on the 63rd anniversary of the Cuban Revolution. That's a very hot topic. I did a video on that on Fidel and all that stuff. Also, too, some music. On another video I did, I reviewed an old school, music. It's a new series on music singles from the late 50s on doo-wop, and then so that's cool. And then I think next week we're going to start doing a live stream after an after party. Of Mr. H's live stream, so we'll get you more details on that.
So an Hcast after party.
Like
it. Tom, what have you got coming up?
Actually got a stream coming up here in roughly around 20 minutes to a half hour ish. You know how we get started. But yeah, so as soon as this is over with, I'll be heading on over to get that rolling. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys over there. That'd be cool on Midnight's Edge After Dark.
And I put all the links in the chat, guys.
And Nick, what have you got coming up, dude?
And thank you, Paulie.
Me and Coach are actually gonna record a video as soon as I get finished up here. He's pretty much been holding the fort down for the last 2 weeks while I've been sick. Our Star Wars sequel trilogy documentary has picked up steam again. We've gotten like over 22,000 views on it here lately.
That's great, man.
Got a bunch of new subs, a lot of new people commenting stuff on it over there. I'm gonna
second wind.
We got. I'm gonna be scheduling some recordings for our next documentary that we're doing on the rise and fall of LucasArts gaming, which will hopefully be finished up February, March timeframe. So we're working on that, and every Saturday night at 7:00 Central, our weekly live stream.
Perfect. And I have my review of The Patient dropping in about 10 minutes time on the main channel. Superb series. I'm not going to get into a review right now. You'll have to watch the video to get my thoughts on it, but strong recommendation. Please do watch that video that drops. Again, it drops in about 10 minutes time, so please do watch that, share it, and give it a thumbs up. Yeah, it's a very good series. Strong recommendation. So from me and everyone else, thank you so much for joining Tuesdays and Thursdays HCast. Please do join again, and that about wraps it up. So from me and everyone else, thank you so much. Take care.
Bye, guys.